that is where we left off.
Yeah, I feel real bad about that.
You know what's funny about that? Go ahead.
I was just saying, I don't know what the hell I was thinking when I was like, I'll just hold my action. It'll be fine.
Well, you actually hit. I kind of. Okay, I'll put it this way. For narrative reasons, I was kind of waiting for a crack in the tactical decision making for the team, because that's what the creature would be doing. Of course, is waiting for someone to slip up and then make a strong attack like that. Not necessarily for any individual target. It didn't really matter who, but as soon as there was let's say kink in the armor, a crack in the armor, for someone to make a mistake like that, that's when he was going to strike. As a snake would, for example. So as soon as you had spent your reaction for that, and you had already actually counterspelled earlier, in the fight, like half an hour before that. So as soon as that happened, I was like, all right, well, there it is. And then I even, we did a percentile dice to see whether it was Nazim or I think Arteme was the other possible target, because he would have actually shot for Sarah, but Sarah was invisible. So, and we got a 50. Remember, it was 1 to 50 would be Nazim, or 51 to 100 would have been Arteme. So just barely got Nazim, but was enough to put him down. So that's where we left off. Justin, you're back.
I am.
All right, let me move us over real quick. Give that a second to load. Oh, that's right. I got to put a combat track in. Once I get everything moved back, that'll be updated again, I guess is a better term. Let me turn that down a bit. That'll be a smoother process for these things here. That's still a little bit loud. Hold on. All right, is that a good volume level for everybody?
I don't hear anything.
Yeah, I don't hear the music.
Yeah, it's
really?
It might just take a second.
Oh, okay. If it's not, okay, yeah, it may just be to load it at all.
Is it the Vermin
check again a second.
Horde song?
Yeah, yep. And if it still says 000, then it hasn't started yet. So just give that a sec for. It's not. It's only a 7 minutes clip that just was on repeat, so it shouldn't take too long to download for everybody. But if it's on G, okay. Yeah, so if it's showing that it's ticking, then it should be playing and you should be able to hear it. Okay, volume level okay then.
Yep.
Cool. All right, so we will pick up right where we left off, which was actually technically in the middle of the Nagalich's turn. He had just spent his action to fire at Nazim. There is technically something he could do, but honestly, it wouldn't be a particularly effective choice anyways. He'd probably save that. Yeah, so we'll save that resource, and we'll move to Arteme. So, Arteme, you would have seen, because Nazim was floating down from the ceiling. Sako, remember, you had just come down through the ceiling and shouted something there. There would potentially be something that Norak could have seen, but he would be focused, of course, on the Lich. But Nazim, you went unconscious before you would have, noticed what the result of what you said was. Does that make sense? You understand what I'm getting out there without blurting out exactly what that was?
Trying to get my memory back on that one. Maybe shoot me a quick message.
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah.
Okay. So do I see what happens with the Lich once he finished saying what he was saying?
No, because you wouldn't be able to see it where you're at, Arteme. Anyways, it would be obstructed. But as far as what you did see, you saw Nazim kind of beginning to lower down through the hole, and then the Lich blasting him, and he goes shooting off into the darkness, and you can't see anymore.
Okay.
It definitely looked bad. You expected that Nazim was probably unconscious on the other side of the road.
Can I try to grab him with my whip?
No, it wouldn't be on your turn. At best, that would have had to have been as a reaction previously, but I don't think you'd be able to anyway. Let me see. That's not really a function of... oops, wrong thing. Of, is it Thorn... Which one? Thorn Whip?
I was going to use my Thorn Whip, yeah.
It's not really what that's designed for.
I've kind of used it before to grapple things, but yeah, I just thought I'd ask.
Yeah, that's it would have been too far anyways, yeah, because he was coming down, he would have been 40-45 feet, and I think that's a 30-foot range at best.
Okay, so, I have no idea what to do then.
Well, you're on the back of the broom with Sarah. Sarah's invisible. You're not, although you are, still on the broom with her. So you're kind of floating in the air, anyways. 15 feet up at this point.
Yeah, I just don't really have anything that would be able to help him, other than like maneuvering the broom to try and go see if he's okay. If that's okay with Sarah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll
look at the
maneuver-
room before you suggest that. Before you decide to do that. You totally can. There's room for you to do so. But the creature is very tall, and he's obstructing the majority of that. That only path you'd have to fly through. He could very easily, interject. Let's say if you tried to fly over him.
Okay.
What's Sai's movement? Could you send Sai?
Sai isn't here.
Sai isn't here. I sent her with Nazim 2 onto the ship so he wouldn't be so alone since we were gone longer than expected.
Yeah.
What about Noctua?
I mean, she's my familiar, but I don't have any healing stuff.
I can't
You would know.
really heal
You would know if
persons.
Pogo has some healing stuff. Just as a heads up.
Would you be able to get to Nazim?
I just gotta be able to see him.
Okay. Yeah, because I can't see him from here, can I?
No.
Okay. Do I have to see the person to use the healing notes from the
Pretty
Halo
sure
of
you
Stars?
do. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you do. I mean, you, click it real quick. I mean, it should be, even if it isn't written there. You can send one streaking towards one creature or object that you can see within 120 feet. Yeah.
Okay, can I see? Okay.
Yeah.
As he's falling, would I have been able to send a healing spell to him?
Not really. That would take an ability that has a reaction to it, and the choker does not.
Oh, I meant one of my other. Oh no, okay, my other spells aren't really reaction.
Yeah, none of those are reaction based. I don't think. I'm not a. There probably is a reaction based healing spell, but not something I'm familiar with off the top of my head.
Okay. I guess I don't really have anything other than trying to carefully go to where he fell. And if the thingy protests, I'll just stop.
It is kind of blocking the majority of that. Basically there would be a small gap above on, right above its left or its right shoulder, because it is. It's not sitting down towards the ground. It's like think of a snake when they're erected up, like they're about to strike. You know what I'm talking about? Where a snake, with a head, and there's a couple feet maybe of snake. Well, the same idea where it's kind of lifted itself up, and he's kind of blocking the majority of the space there. So it's not that you couldn't get by; it's just going to be some difficult rolls to get through, and then you and Sarah could end up potentially in a tough spot also, because Sarah's in bad shape as well.
Okay, then I'll just heal Sarah. And
How do you want to go about that?
I'm looking at the moment.
Ben, you're up next.
Healing. Oh, healing. It's a bonus action, not reaction.
You can do both. You could do healing word and
Cure wounds.
cure wounds. There you go. I mean, one of them is at range, technically healing word, but she's right in front of you, so you could use both if you wanted.
I'll use cure wounds for now.
Okay, that's the bigger of the two. So go ahead and click it and mark off what level you're casting it as. You'll get upcast, of course, by 2, so add 2 extra dice.
I just
all
put
right,
it to
so-
3 level, but then I didn't consume the spell slot, and I just removed the level 1 spell slot.
Okay, all right, so 26 points of healing for Sarah.
Thank you.
And that's it for my
Okay.
turn.
All right, Ben, your turn.
Alrighty.
What you doing, Holmes?
I already used my frenzied rage, didn't I? And if not, I'm going to.
I don't think you did. I think you only did regular rage.
Yeah, I think because I was just fighting little homeboy until just a minute
Yeah,
ago.
yeah, until you jump down the hole here.
I'm going to do that frenzied rage,
All right. Don't forget to add your exhaustion at the end.
and I am going to if I can smash on Snake Man in front of me.
Okay.
Already raging, so. There we go.
Great Whip Master.
Yeah,
All right.
he's pretty big. Should be easy to hit, I'm assuming. Oh, and all reckless, so I have advantage.
Okay. Oh,
Nice.
Natural 20 and a 19 too. That's better rolls than you were getting last week, at least.
Awesome job.
And I'm going to do my Tribal Fury to add an extra damage dice whenever
Alright.
I roll this.
Okay. Go ahead and roll the damage for that one first, because that'll be a crit. There you go. All right.
And then another G. Those are 2 6s, right?
Yeah, so an extra
Or is it
2d6.
12? Okay.
No, hang on. That's the 2d6. Yeah, that's 2d6 for your great sword. All right. Hang on. Does he? No, he doesn't. All right, go ahead.
Right, then I will use my second attack.
Good. Hang on, sorry. He's going to react actually after your first attack. He's going to use. Well, that's the wrong one technically, but he's going to use reaction. He's going to use 2 of his legendary actions for a paralyzing touch as a reaction, which is a melee spell attack plus 12 to hit rather.
Oh, you got this. And yeah, I think you still have, if you need it, I think you still have Bardic Inspiration.
I think I do. Thank you, man.
Yeah, because there was a save involved. So
Yeah,
well,
so
he
if
only
you-
rolled a 16, so the attack didn't hit anyways. Your AC is
18.
like so, yeah, okay, yeah. So the attack didn't hit anyways. No, go ahead with your second attack.
Yay!
All right.
Yeah, you would have had to make the save if it hit, but because it didn't hit, you don't have to make the save, meaning you still have your you have the Bardic Inspiration from Pogo still.
That thing must be pretty bad if it costs him 2 legendary actions. I'm kind of glad that didn't work.
It would have been a whole minute, and you wouldn't have been able to. No, sorry, you can repeat. Okay, I thought that was the one that you can't repeat because he has another ability that is bad too. But anyways, go ahead.
Okay. Does a 12 hit? Because I did roll that second attack.
No, 12 does not hit. There's no plus modifier. Oh, that is with your modifiers. Jeez.
Yeah.
So much for your good rolls. No, 12 doesn't
I
hit.
know, huh? All right, then I will do my bonus attack hit with my Frenzy
Frenzy?
Rage. Then.
Okay. Nazim, you're up next for your for some potentially some rolls at least here. All right, 26 will hit you.
All right. I'll do my sword for another hit.
All right. Yeah, that's 2 hits, so the sword will light up. All right, 18, that'll hit as well.
Take that, sucker.
All right, another 11. All right, he is still pretty hale. He's not breaking down just yet, but still, multiple just hacking away at this very aged and what's the word I'm looking for? Like dry to the point of falling apart, decrepit. I think.
Decrepit and brittle.
We can see the noggin now, right?
Yeah, he's visible now. He was visible as soon as he blasted Nazim.
Oh, great. Then I'm going to let loose this firebolt that I've been
Yeah,
holding.
yeah, you were. That's right. That was the reason that you didn't
Yep.
have your reaction. So,
This is the reason Sakura at least it hits.
all right, that hits.
Good roll.
All right, that's good. Yeah. All right, that hits, and that brings us to Nazim. I don't know if it's going to automatically trigger here, Nazim, but if it does, I'm going to have you manually roll it anyways. Okay, cool. I don't like the auto. I didn't want it to auto roll death saves. I don't find that particularly fun. So we're going to roll your first death save here, which if you bring up your character sheet, I don't remember if you've had to do one of these or not.
No, not death save.
Okay, all right. So bring up your character sheet, and then on the main tab there, where the attributes tab, where you see Entropic Ward and Arcane Gate and Resource 3. Just below that, in the kind of bottom right section, you'll see one that says Death Saves. Mm-hmm. You'll see, just click the word Death Saves, I think, and it'll give you a prompt.
Gotcha. Advantage, normal, disadvantage.
Normal. Yeah.
Here you go.
That is a first failure, so he's at one failed save. Yeah, nobody can see what's happening over there. Norok, it's like directly behind you, and you would be very focused, obviously, on fighting this thing, especially as big as it is. You can't really spare, time enough to look over your shoulder. So I don't think you could even see. And for everyone else, he's in the darkness anyway, even if you could see to the other side of the room if it wasn't being blocked by the big guy. So I don't think anybody can see what's happening there. And Nazim, you're unconscious, so you can't. Well, you let's just say you wouldn't be aware of what was happening in
My
your
life
current
alert
state.
would automatically deploy.
Yeah, I've fallen and I can't get up, so emergency medics are on the way. But I think that's it for Nazim, because you're obviously still unconscious because you didn't roll a natural 20 or anything. So that brings us to Pogo.
All right, and I would kind of hear this going on. I know it's on the other side of this guy in the middle, right?
You would have seen Nazim floating down through the ceiling, through the crack in the ceiling, and then get blasted and splashed against the wall. Yeah.
So I'm going to use my movements to. I can basically get all the way to the guy. So what I was going to do is I have about 5 more feet of movement. How tall is this thing, and is it possible for me to get around it, or would I have to climb over him?
Because you're small, like the small size, you can pass through his space. He is between huge or gargantuan, so you can move through his space. Although it's not.
I'm going to use my. I'm going to go ahead because I probably don't know exactly what's going on. I'm still going to go ahead and use my my wing bracers, so that as a. Let me check something.
Dash is a bonus action.
Hold on one moment, because my healing is also bonus action. So give me a second here. Yeah, I just want to double check. All right, so what I'm actually going to do is, as my action, I just moved. As my action, I'm going to go ahead and dash.
Okay. And you're gonna need to make an acrobatics check to move through his space.
Yep.
I'll call the check if he
kind of start running up his tail and like jumping off of his body.
Sure.
As stealthily as nimbly as I can.
Stealthily jump off of his body.
Roll through Norok's legs, so I get like right about here.
All right.
But I can see Norok. So let me roll that. Let's see if I can pull this off.
Oh yeah. That's so you seeing the tail in the back, you kind of have to leap off of that, climb up over his shoulder, and then run underneath his arm on the left side until Norok, you kind of trying to wail away at this thing with your sword, have to swing around a spinning pogo who's trying to flip through the air there. Hence one of your misses.
Everyone sees it in slow motion, like Norok swinging his sword, and I'm kind of like I'm matrixing, like doing like a little like
a vertical cartwheel, upside down cartwheel.
Yeah, like avoiding it. Like you see, like a little bit of my hair kind of get clipped by the sword, just kind of fall to the ground as I roll through his legs. And then I'm going to use my bonus action to cast Healing Word on Norok. On Nazim.
Make a percent, because you have to. You can see within range, yeah. So you do have to look at him and see him. I'm going to say you can just barely see him in the darkness because a lot of it is being obstructed, of course. Make a.
Yeah, my thought was if we had the light coming in through the hole.
No, you're fine. You can see him. What I was curious about is how much detail in the dark. You can see him enough to be able to cast it. That's no problem. But with a 9, that's too low for you to be able to.
No, what his level's at?
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess kind of the severity of the situation, I guess, is how I'd put that. So you do...
well, he's on the ground, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you saw him get blasted, and then he just...
knocked the fuck out.
And just flown across the room and smacked into the wall. So pretty fair that you understand that he's not moving, so you can assume he's unconscious. Nazim, you do return to consciousness with 7 hit points. So you can go ahead and heal yourself for that.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
I'm going to tell you that there are repercussions for what just happened. You just don't necessarily understand exactly what it was. Sarah, you, Nazim, and Pogo, at least, and probably Arteme, are definitely familiar with what Finger of Death does and what should have happened there. But something didn't happen that way. And Pogo, I would guess, anyways, that you having seen this as well, you had seen Finger of Death previously when Nazim had used it. You are surprised when he begins to breathe in. You don't necessarily know what, and you'll need to probably investigate a little bit further as to what actually happened there, because it doesn't. You kind of didn't expect it to work.
Yeah, I'm not going to be thinking about that right now.
For the moment, that's fine. I just mean that you would probably be surprised in that it did work at all, not expecting that it would have. So we'll get to why when you guys have time to look at that. Sarah, it is your turn.
Okay.
Are we fucking leaving? Are we getting out of here? I
Well,
thought
we
maybe
kinda-
we went in a hole that wouldn't follow us, but apparently it lives here.
Okay.
We're in this living room.
Sako didn't get a chance to say that
Yeah, he did.
Bear spied the throne, did he?
Yep, he did. He shouted it right as he was getting blasted.
Spawn.
Yep.
Okay.
Then he got hit.
What, Fox?
I said then he got hit.
Yeah, right as he was coming through.
I thought Fox said then he got deaded, and I was like, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Screw it.
I got better.
Let's see. 5, 10. 40. Okay. So first, I'm going to scooch myself over in this corner.
Okay.
I'm going
I'll demand to move you over as well since you're with her.
Okay.
Where is it? Is it this one? This one says it. Yeah, I'm gonna use Chronal Inversion as a bonus action.
Didn't you already use it? Do you have multiple uses?
Yeah, it's just a first level spell.
Oh, okay. All right.
And then I'm going to move back up here and try to angle this so it doesn't hit Norok.
Okay.
I have a question. Last time I did Cone of Cold, did it seemed like it did regular damage, right? Or did it seem like it didn't hurt as much? I can't remember.
Let me double check. I'm pretty sure it's regular. No. Huh. You hit this guy with Cone of Cold?
Yeah, I did this exact same thing the first time I hit him.
I think I probably put it in the chat then, because he has a very limited list of resistances. Let's just say that. Well, you know what? Since you already did it anyways, you would already know. Cold is resisted, so it would be half damage.
Okay. In that case, I'm not going to use my Chronal Inversion. I'm just going to stick back here in this corner.
Okay.
And I'm going to hit him with a Psychic Lance then.
Okay.
Because that's a distance. Do this.
Fox, you're up next.
Oh, wait, I'm supposed to
Oh,
target
sorry,
this
actually.
guy, right?
He's up next, and then you are after. Yeah, click it. There you go. Yep, you got it.
and then
Well,
hit
somebody
T.
did. Yeah. I don't see you targeted. You have him highlighted, right? So you click on him, you see the orange box, and then hit T.
Oh, Jesus, I don't even have my fucking thing on. That's why. The keyboard.
There you go. Yep.
Alright. What is saving throw? Is it? Nope. He's got to make a saving throw.
Okay. 18 intelligence.
Oh,
Natural 20.
Fuck.
Wait.
I think he still takes half damage, though.
On failed save, target takes 76 and is incapacitated until the start of your next turn. Success takes half as much damage and is not incapacitated. Okay. So go and roll the damage. Alright, 24. He's getting weakened. He's not down to, terrible shape just yet, but he's below bloodied at least.
Alright, get my first level spell slot back. I didn't do that, and I am no longer invisible, I'm assuming.
Yep. Which, Pogo, you still technically have the concentration, but you don't need it anymore, so keep that in mind.
Yeah. I'll
right.
remember that.
Alright, bringing us to the creature's turn. Very first thing it's going to do here is con save against field save half. That's not as powerful as I thought that was going to be. That was the other one. Does it need that? No. Does it need that right now? Shit. The real dick move, the proper thing that it would do, would, having seen Nazim stand back up again, would be, he's still the weakest one currently. He would blast him again.
Counter spell?
Potentially,
Because
yeah.
I have my
you could-
reaction back.
Yeah.
And if that doesn't work, I'll use my Ancestral Guardians.
Okay. I would say that you both probably see that he's, preparing to do so, but there's a certain amount of time, let's say, but when Nazim is starting to shamble up, that may not. All right, so to word this in a way that would reveal what Finger of Death does, there is a certain amount of time where he may not be aware of whether Nazim is standing up for one reason or for a different reason. Does everybody understand where I'm getting with that?
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
so
I'm
I'm, exactly. So I'm going to roll percentile dice again to give it an opportunity here, because I don't want to, I don't Sako feel like he's getting picked on either. That is tactically the correct decision to make, but if he doesn't realize that that's why Nazim is standing up and thinking that he's standing up as a zombie, then that means there's a potential for other targets. So he would, looking around his shoulder, see little Pogo there, Nazim there, and Sarah. Technically, Arteme as well. We're going to go with 25. So starting from the north, Nazim, 1 through 25, 26 to 50 for Pogo, 51 through 75 for Arteme, and last for Sarah. That's a Pogo.
God damn it!
Counter spell.
This is what happens if a Pogo tries to do like the right thing, trying to help a teammate.
Is this an attack or is this a spell?
This is a spell, and there's one of two. It's gonna be. Yeah, it's gonna be this one. Okay. Make a con save.
Yeah, just confirm. It's not
Wait. I am counterspelling at. God, I only have a few high level ones left. Get 8th level.
Jesus Christ! All right, well, okay. So he, reaches an arm out, just basically right over Pogo's head, leaning down, even almost in Norok's face, as he nearly touches the back of Pogo's head. Begins to send the threads out of this spell that you've now recognized multiple times, and you cease the threads to exist. This spell is incapacitated, and Pogo is not incapacitated. Pogo, did you have something you were going to try to do there as well? The spell doesn't happen.
No, not if it wasn't an attack. I was going to use my cutting words, but it doesn't work on that. So
that would have been a save, yeah, not an attack. Okay.
Yep.
Then in that case, he is going to shriek in fury and is going to disrupt life to everyone in the room. Everyone within 20 feet, actually. So I think that... actually, Arteme and Sarah might be too far. Which is actually still going to screw Nazim, because Nazim is still within 20 feet. Let me check here real quick. It'll be a 20-foot circle.
He's got
from
7
him.
hit points. I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe he has a cool
shit!
reaction.
No, it is not. It's not as far as I thought. It's yay. It's that big. So Pogo, it's not nearly it's not as big as I was thinking, basically. So it's just going to be Norok and Pogo. Arteme and Sarah, you are out of it, and Nazim, you are out of it. So it'll be you guys. Yeah. You're thankfully still in the darkness in the back there. It is a DC 18 con save you guys need to make. It's his turn.
Wow.
It isn't as bad as I thought. I was actually saving this one thinking it was a bigger hit than it is, but it's even if you fail, it isn't that huge.
It'll be fine.
I'm going to step away for just a moment.
All right, Sako. All right, so Ben, with your succeeding, you take half. It is DC... No, it's 66. No, did I roll? No. Oh, I got to click it again. There we go. All right, it is 66.
I use my retaliation as a reaction.
This isn't an attack.
Because when I take damage, does that count?
Oh, yeah. No, if it's damage, it's
I was
counted.
just checking that.
Yep.
Okay.
So it's 12 damage to UG and 24 to Pogo.
All right.
Oh, he's visible now, actually, so you guys can see that. Hang on, I didn't do the math right. 24... Where is that? Yeah, you concentration didn't matter. It was already down anyways, of course. But are you making your? Oh, there it is. Okay.
Yeah.
You're just taking a second.
All
No problem.
right.
There we go. 19 will hit. Fox, you're up next. 11. All right. And he is back to bloodied again. All right. Artemis, your turn.
Wait, back to bloody? Like he healed himself a little bit?
Yeah, that drain life heals it.
Yeah, okay.
Or disrupt life heals
I'm
it.
going to use produce point.
Okay.
You're gonna hear me just kind of scream out. Did the words do anything? I don't think they did anything.
Actually, Pogo, where you're at, you would need to look around a little bit, but you could potentially see it. Nazim, didn't notice it because he was knocked unconscious, but it's on that side of the room there. All right, 12 damage, sorry, 12 does not hit Fox.
Oh, okay. I'm also going to use Magic Stone.
Okay. That just creates the stones, right?
Yes, I'm creating them right now.
All right. Is that it for your turn?
Yeah.
All right. That'll bring us to Norok. Ben, before you do anything else, make a perception. Actually, shit. Because of the timing, I'm going to say not for Nazim. Pogo and Norok make perception checks with disadvantage, both of you. And it's a pretty high DC.
Well, then mine will be normal then, because I think I was
Perception
rolling
That's,
advantage.
yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
So for you, it'll be a normal roll, G. And,
Ah,
okay. All right. So, all right.
I'm just gonna fucking keep going.
You're fine. Yeah. Well, neither of you notice anything. So,
Yeah.
all right. Norok, your
Everything
turn.
is great.
all right. Let's see if I
Liches
can-
are considered undead, right?
Yep. Yeah, he's definitely undead. He's been dead a long time.
All right, I'm going to attempt to do the Nora Classic and whittle him down.
Okay. Uh, 21, that'll hit.
All right.
All right, 20. And that'll hit.
Nice.
That was a good roll.
That'll do. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, that was attack, not or damage, not attack. All right. It sword lights up obviously with the second attack, so you're using it for a third.
Yeah, please.
Okay.
And sweet.
21, that'll hit as well.
A lucky number today, apparently. Do my frenzied attack for my bonus.
He's going to react after this one, so actually, shit. No, he can't. He already used 3. He used them at the start of his turn. Yeah, that's fine. He won't. He doesn't. Well, the other reactions he has is not something he wants to use, so he already used his legendary action, so he can't do that one. So, 16 damage. All right, last attack. For your frenzy. That'll hit as well. All 4 of them. Jeez.
Bastard.
All right, Nazim, you are up. That if your turn, I assume, Holmes. You're not moving.
Nah.
Okay. All right, Nazim, is your turn. I need to send you a message real quick here.
Okay.
That's as much information as you're able to glean in this short amount of time right now.
Gotcha. Okay.
Make a perception check with disadvantage.
Okie dokie, coming up. Give me a sec here. You said disadvantage coming
Yep.
up.
Okay. Yeah, you don't notice anything either then. It's just too dark in the room. All right. So your regular turn, go right ahead.
I am pretty weak right now, so I can see left, I can see right. There looks like a corridor on my left. I might make a run for that since I only.
Oh,
have
sorry.
7.
That is it's a solid wall. Looks like a door, basically, like a. Actually, on this side, it probably does. Yeah, it's definitely intended to be secret. It looks like it's not a regular door, is how I'm putting that. But you're on the easy side, if that makes sense. The other side is a smooth wall. Not that you necessarily know that, but basically, it's clearly like a flat wall that has a door shape in it, but it's clearly intended to be subtle.
Okay, so it may not open up on this end then.
Or it might require, some other mechanism, something to open it. But yeah, there's no easy doorknob or anything like that.
Just looking around, do I see any type of trigger button or anything that might open this up for more?
The statue beside, that's next to you there, it is like raining dust off of it, as if it has just recently moved within, the last few seconds since you got blasted, basically. The head is rotated downwards, and there's like sand and dust that is trailing off from around the head. It's just a statue. It's not like alive or anything like that, but there's clearly something inside the statue that had moved the head to face downwards. And that's as much as you can tell. Other than that, you don't see anything mechanical, I suppose, like a lever.
Copy that. Drag marks in front of it, like just underneath me.
No, it hasn't moved. The statue itself looks like it's. Sorry. So the statue that's up there on the pedestal. You see that one on the map there? The head just rotated down, is what you would gather from the way the dust is falling.
Okay. I guess I will make an attempt to see if I can move it, if that's possible. It looks like something that can be shifted.
It is quite large. You can't really get to it easily, but it's a very big stone statue. It wouldn't be the kind of thing you would just push with your hands. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a big sphinx-like statue. It's a sphinx with a snake head.
Copy. All right, I will move to the farthest corner as far away as I can from him.
Okay.
And I will... Oh, shoot. He's half damaged. He's like not bloodied or anything right now, so he's still pretty good.
He's a little bit below bloodied. He's a little bit below half, yeah.
Okay, so
but he did heal himself too, so...
Jeez. Okay. Then I will go ahead and do another Eldritch Blast directly on him. All 3 focused on him.
Okay. From that angle, you're going to have a risk. It's not a high one, but a risk of potentially hitting Auroch or Pogo.
Oh, this original position was just the same, huh?
A little. I mean, if you moved a little bit to the other side, you could aim. There you go, over the statue like that. Yeah, that'd be fine. I mean, you'd have to aim around the statue to do it, but yeah, you could do that without risking hitting them.
Yeah. Let me see how much movement I have.
You sort of right there. Yeah. So
10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I could probably shoot over the butt of that statue, right?
Yeah. You have a clear shot there. And still be able to use the statue for cover if you wanted.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and use Eldritch Blast, all 3 on him.
Okay.
T for target. There
I'll go,
goes.
you're up next.
First attack. Good.
Okay. Yep, that'll hit.
Second attack.
And that'll hit.
Third attack.
All right, all 3 hit. So go and roll the damage 3 times.
Yeah.
Well done.
Perfect. And I will also use the gloves again.
You get a full another Eldritch Blast?
Mm-hmm. All 3
all right.
again.
All right. This will probably be enough. I mean, he's got some left, but if you roll well enough.
Off really quick.
Okay.
All right, marking that to 0. Done. Recasting now. Eldritch Blast. Sorry, I'm pulling up this information here.
I think you just get another full cast of Eldritch Blast, don't you?
Yeah, that's 3
It's our
shot
glove.
here. There you go. 1.
Once per long rest, yeah. So 13 will not hit.
All right, missed 1.
That one will.
1 hit.
And that one will. All right, so roll damage twice. Oh, close. Well, not quite. I mean, he's badly damaged, but still alive.
Okay.
Yeah, now would be the time for reaction, actually, because he just barely made it. Can't do that because he's already used those, and won't get them back until his turn. Well, he can't do anything useful. Shit. Yeah, he can. Hang on, let me see if this would be tactically useful here. Shit. With no arc right there, that's not great. He's still going to try it anyways. This isn't a great option, but it's his best choice at this point. He is going to cast... actually, no, none of you have ever seen this before. He holds both hands out above his head, like not even towards Norok or anything else, almost like he's surrendering, and begins to kind of paint this space above him with his hands, drawing it all around himself as quickly as he can, until he is surrounded by this vaguely translucent bubble with the kind of incandescent glare of light reflecting off of it, like rainbowy, until he is surrounded by a globe of vulnerability. Unfortunately, it doesn't do much to prevent physical attacks, just spells, it looks like. So it is currently it's immobile anyways. What's that?
Okay. Oh, never mind. I had already had a plan that I want to let you know I'm not, for my next thing, I'm not doing a thing where, what's it called when you play off knowing with other person? Like,
metagaming? Yeah,
I'm not doing metagaming. I already had an idea in my head. So
okay.
I'll still be doing the same thing.
All right. Well, you're coming up next here in just a second.
You'll realize after why I say that right now.
Sure, that's fine. Remains duration. Can't affect creatures or objects within it, even if the spell is cast using higher level spell slot. Such spell can target creatures and objects within the barrier, but the spell has no effect. Is excluded from the area's effect of other spells. So the problem with that, the limitation of that is, one, he can't move. He's stuck inside of the sphere because the sphere won't move, or the globe won't move. But also, if you read that closely, there are certain things that still get through that field, I guess is how I'll say that. But spells will not. So
yeah, I'm just gonna do what Pogo's not smart enough to know.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Nazim, that was action and bonus action to use your glove. Anything? Right. Any move? I guess movement to get around the corner. Is that it for your turn?
Yep, that's it.
All right, that brings us to Pogo.
All right. So Pogo, not quite sure what this is. He's gonna go ahead and first try to cast Hex as a bonus action on this creature, choosing him to have disadvantage on Constitution. Can I tell as my character when I cast Hex, do I feel that it actually affected the creature, or did it just miss?
Other way around. You feel the threads kind of reaching out between your hand and the creature and get intersected halfway through when they hit this bubble, and nothing happens.
All right. Then that would actually cause me to not do my next thing. Because now I'm going to assume, as Pogo, that magic isn't going to get through the dumb bubble.
That's exactly what you assume.
I'm really close to the bubble. Can I try to put my arm through it?
Yeah. I mean, you're close enough to it. I would say that, yeah.
Like, just
probably
my movement.
If you moved into it, definitely. But if you just took, your do you have your rapier still or your elven sword?
Elven sword.
So you could, you could unsheath and poke through the bubble and it goes straight through.
Okay.
I would say the Norok's right next to you and would also notice that it went straight through.
I'm going to quickly climb up Norok, and I'm going to jump off of his shoulder.
Oh, shit. Okay, hang on. So before you do anything else, that has a potentially big implication. So you start clambering up Norok, you get shoulder height. Let's say you've done this 1,000 times using him for furniture like usual. Make a perception check, and this time instead of disadvantage, it's just going to be a flat roll.
All right. Well, flat roll or disadvantage?
Flat roll. It would have been disadvantage, but because you climbed up his shoulder. Ooh, all right.
So I'm up on her shoulder, and I'm
hang on, don't do anything else. Hang on a second, because you're going to notice something that I need to send you a note on. You got that?
Yeah.
Does Justin understand what happened here? Because Pogo probably would, and I can send you more details if needed.
I mean, is it? I think, but I don't know. I mean, is it the thing?
So, okay, don't say anything else.
Yeah.
Just act as Pogo then. You have an
Okay.
idea then, and you're probably
Pogo
right.
is
So go ahead
going
and...
to, yeah. Pogo is going to. He's going to use.
You don't have to act on that knowledge. Just it's
Well,
up to you on
he
what you want to
would
do.
if I think it is what I think it is.
Yeah.
He would. Yeah, he's just gonna go ahead and try to hit. Everyone else is just gonna see me pull out my elven sword and look like I'm cleaving down on Norak, but I'm
Norak's
trying
neck
to...
specifically. So
Yeah, you know what? Hold on, I might actually say it'll work less gruesomely.
yeah, that's gonna look really bad to the rest of the group.
Well, it's also my fuck up, and I'd rather not. I'm actually just going to, seeing something, I'm going to you're going to see me lean down, or like kind of yell, and just say, "You look like an uncircumcised dick," and then I'm going to just fucking yell at this thing.
So Norak, you have to assume that he's talking to you, obviously.
Yeah, Norak,
He's basically whispering in your ear. All right, let's see what he rolls.
So,
I can't click it because I don't have that targeted, so let me roll that real quick. Fail. So go ahead and roll it.
Yeah, it's not going to be a ton of... See, that's the thing, I wasn't sure.
Okay.
Do I see anything different now?
It definitely reacted. There was a reaction. I guess I'm trying to not reveal this to everyone because Pogo's the only one that knows what's happening here now. And there is definitely a reaction, I guess is how I put that, but it didn't stop what's happening.
Okay. That is my action, my bonus action, and I'm just gonna yell to Norak after that there's a fucking slug on your neck. Is it the do I recognize the slug from somewhere else?
Yeah. Yeah, you would recognize, especially now that
the same kind of thing that was in like the leaves on that boat.
The leaves? Yes. Well, okay, you saw them in another place too. You saw them on an elven woman
I'm
before.
Gonna yell out. I don't remember what they're called, but I'm gonna yell out. It's one of those dick slugs with a fucking mouth on is on your neck. And that's oh wait, I saw my movement. I'm gonna use the rest of my movement to just jump off of his shoulder backwards instead to get back behind the statue and kind of duck down. But I'm gonna like tell him it's on his neck after I cast my vicious mockery on it.
You can still see it there, and in fact, now that it's been hit,
I'm also gonna look around. Are there any around my feet or anything?
No, I'm going to tell you that now that you're literally where you're standing, when you kind of run around over the corner to try to hide behind the statue there is a huge splatter of dark red blood all over the floor and a trail leading out from it. That is the spot where Nazim splashed against the wall, or was smashed against the wall, rather, and when he hit the ground, you gather something must have exited Nazim and slid across the floor and started climbing up Norak.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I doubt Pogo would have figured that one out. Maybe later. Maybe when Pogo gets a chance to think.
Out of combat,
right
maybe.
Now,
yeah.
Right now, he's just going to be checking the ground around him and, like kind of panicking, touching his own neck and trying to make sure nothing's in his hair and shit.
You know what? Bugs crawling on you, too?
Just a big fucking slug
what
thing.
happened there? I'm gonna tell this.
No.
Okay. I'm going to tell everybody. I'm going to tell you guys this. Your characters don't necessarily understand what happened, but just so that everybody gets what occurred here. The rules of Finger of Death, I had to look this up specifically to make sure since this was, character death imminent, basically, for Sako. Finger of Death kills outright. If it outright kills something, it turns them into a zombie on the creature's next turn. The creature that casted it. But it doesn't bypass death saves. Nazim still had death saves to make, and as long as he didn't die from it, then it didn't kill him, and therefore he would, survive that. The thing is, he's had another creature in his head this entire time that is also a separate creature, that Ceramorph tadpole that's been inside of Nazim's head. And Finger of Death did way more than enough to just outright kill it. So it's a zombie tadpole that
didn't have enough time.
It exited out of Nazim's head, and then what else is it going to do? It has to try to find another host because it's just a parasite. It actually had a chance of going for either Pogo or Norok, because by the time it got there, Pogo was standing next to him. Both of you had opportunities to perceive it, but you both rolled really low. Nazim woke up with an unbearable, like, brain exploded headache, and has disadvantage from that for certain things at the moment. But that's it. So basically, Nazim doesn't have a Ceramorph in his head anymore. It's on the back of Norok's neck. So that's where we're at. Again, all of you guys as players can know that. Norok, you having had that shouted at you, would now be aware that that thing is on the back of your neck as well. It is a parasite, so it has a certain paralytic numbing agent to it, and that you wouldn't necessarily feel it, but you do know it's there because of what Pogo said. So everybody's up to speed there, I think. That if you're Pogo's turn?
That's all I can do.
All right, that brings it to Sarah.
Okay. I'm going to go 10 right here.
Is that like Fraggle Rock or something? What is that?
It's from Labyrinth.
Oh, okay, really? Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen it.
What level do I have?
He is very close to dead, but he did. He's surrounded by a semi-translucent bubble, Sarah. So keep that in mind. Okay.
I'm which level? All right, we're going to use third or fourth. All right, so I'm gonna bonus action third shadow knife. And I'm still in the shadows, so it's an advantage. Yep. It is also considered a simple melee weapon.
It is, yeah. It's a physical object. I mean, you're creating it from shadow, but it isn't a spell.
And I'm going to use my action to attack.
All right. Good choice. 24 will hit. Go ahead and roll the damage. I don't know if you can do too little for this. Yeah, I don't think you can roll too low. He had 2 hit points left, so
yay.
So I think we're okay there. All right, so here's what occurs at the at least end for the moment of this situation here. You fling the knife in its direction. It does pierce through the bubble without any issue. It easily impales him in the back. There is a black flash that envelops the creature itself. And as it kind of begins to dissipate into small, almost ashen threads on the air here, what little there is in this room, there is a very visible and clear, all of you are able to see this, floating wisp almost that is floating in the direction of this. This isn't something you guys can really intercede on. It happens too quickly, but it is visible enough for everyone to see what happens. It floats into the middle of the statue and disappears when it touches the side of the statue. And the creature's gone. We find another track here. Oh, where did that one go? I don't remember which one it was for. Oh, it's in the environment. There it is.
Just turned invisible again? What happened?
You would have seen it happen too, Pogo.
Just turned into fucking mist and.
Not the same thing. This looked different. Where is it? There it is. No, that's not the right one either. That'll do though. It wasn't the same appearance as when it had turned invisible previously and then moved around. Jeez, the audio on that one's way too low.
Are we still in combat?
No, you guys. Yeah, I mean, we can drop initiative order for the moment. Yeah, there's no visible threat, at least at the moment.
I would just keep an eye on the statue where it went into.
Okay, so it flew in. Jeez, and now that's too loud. It flew into the side of the statue and just disappeared, just a wisp. I'm going to tell you all, especially with the Vast Erudition, that all of you would be aware of what happens when a Lich dies, and it doesn't die. It just reforms a new body every 24 hours if it does die. So it is
some eggs.
A vessel or something.
It's called a phylactery. It is, So Pogo would be, all of you, due to the Vast Erudition, would have an understanding that was the case anyways, even if you didn't know the word phylactery. Doesn't really matter.
Would we know that the way it went into the statue, we think the statue might be the phylactery? I can roll for it, by the way, too.
You know what? Yeah, go ahead and roll probably a history check, I think. I mean, maybe Arcana, whichever one you prefer of the two actually would be fine.
Let's see here.
Whichever one is a better roll for you.
Yeah, not bad.
You would gather the statue itself probably isn't, that there's probably something inside the statue. Like it was probably, baked into the statue.
I'm just pushing my way through everyone, and I'm casting Shatter on the statue at 5th level.
Okay.
Oh, can I try to roll to get this stupid parasite off me? I'm not just standing here calling, by the way.
I was curious. Yeah, I was curious if anybody was going to spend any, any time on that to kind of prevent Nora from turning into an invalid.
So if it's made of stone, it would be.
It hits the statue and is absorbed, and nothing happens.
Okay.
The statue is also a magical object.
All right. Well, we got to get the fuck out of here within 24 hours, guys.
I mean, that's a long time. That's you probably wouldn't be too worried about that.
We can only take one night's sleep here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If we're gonna nap, we got to make sure that it's under 23 hours long. Norok,
Can we sit down for like just a bit, take a short rest?
Norok, you reach your hand up to your, the back of your neck where Pogo had described, where you'd heard him kind of whispering at the back of your neck before he leapt off of you, and grab there, and you don't feel anything on your neck, but you do. Your hand squishes into like a slug. It's a tadpole shape, but it's very slimy, and you have to yank it away, and it's trying to fight you. Obviously, you're much stronger than this little tiny creature is, but it is very aggressively suckered onto the back of your neck and trying to move its way up the back of your head. Without hair in the way, it was literally one round from starting to crawl into your ear. So next round.
Good thing I tried to jump off your fucking shoulder.
Yeah, for real. As soon as you said that, I was like, well, shit. Like that's gonna cause a potential change in what your actions may be. So that worked out nicely. But you do yank it off and are holding this squiggling. Damn it! This freaking track's super loud all of a sudden. This squiggling, slimy, mostly dead, really, at this point, tadpole. It is a zombified tadpole.
I'm ripping him up.
Right? You grab him in both hands and Indian burn style, just break him in half.
That's right. Yeah, like a towel, like a wet towel, bring him up.
All right. And drop him on the ground. He would actually soon be no longer animated anyway, since you at least at the moment had killed the lich. But it is broken in half and is still squiggling for a few seconds before it stops moving on the ground. Norok, God damn it, Nazim on the far side of the room.
Putting that back in me.
Oh, you are bleeding pretty heavily from one ear at the moment, and still in the shape of 7 hit points at the moment. So.
Pogo's gonna kind of sit down against the wall and ask the group, "Can we sit here for a little while we figure out what just happened? I'm kind of exhausted."
Yeah, I think we should just regroup for a couple minutes here.
It's cooler in here than it is up on the sand. I'm gonna go ahead and call Petey back down here too, so he can come hang out. And
he can't fit through the hole.
Oh, he can't fit through the hole. Yeah, then he just stays up there.
He can stand up there. Yeah.
Out, like flying around. If he sees anything that looks threatening to us, then he can let me know.
He reports back. He doesn't see any more of the little bone snakes that he had seen previously.
Right. I'm also going to. Are we all going to take a quick short rest while we talk stuff?
Yeah.
So I'm going to be playing my interest. I'm going to be playing my instrument while we're doing this, so everyone gets an extra D10 if you use any of your hit dice. So I'm going to use some of my hit dice and add a D10 onto it as well.
I'll use my medicine stuff to try and bandage people.
Okay. I think that just automatically makes them all max, right? When they use hit dice?
Or something, yeah.
So you'll get an extra D10 from if you use any hit dice at all, you get an extra D10 from Pogo.
Sweet.
And then I think Fox's medicine thing was that
medic feat or something?
Yeah, it was a feat. It was
medic, I think.
Yeah. During a short rest, up to 6 willing beasts and humanoids, DC 15 wisdom save for each creature. They spend hit dice. They forgo the roll and instead gain the maximum number of hit dice.
What happens if you get maxes on her hit dice?
She has to roll for everybody that's going to. So before you guys have already started applying them. So I'm going to.
Why don't you roll? I can always add the difference. I've rolled 3, so.
Okay. Yes, Fox. Roll. Who all was using hit dice? Norok.
I am.
Hera and Nazim. Yeah. Okay. So roll 3 medicine checks, Fox. Success. And success. And
wow, you have
success.
Really high medicine.
Yeah, she has double proficiency on medicine.
I have double proficiency on it because I'm pretty much the group healer because we didn't have heals.
So if you Yeah, anybody that used hit dice, the number that you used, you get the maximum potential amount for that, as well as you get an extra D10 of healing from Pogo's song.
3, 2, so that's 5 more.
So if you rolled 3 and they were D8s, then you would get 30. You would get 24 plus a D10.
And we're gonna do
Yeah, I
Alright,
rolled
I'm gonna-
5, and those are 8. So 4 times 8, then I guess, plus an additional D10.
Yep. I'll trust you guys on it. Just throw in whatever the hit points were going to be there. Oh shit! I'm sorry, Fox. I clicked. I was trying to drag the map, and I had you selected, so I dragged your character over there. I didn't mean to.
Oh,
I was going to grab your medic feat thing to see the
I see.
details on it, but you'd already actually clicked it and put it in the chat, so I didn't need to.
Sorry, I'm a little confused here. I rolled 4 times, and you said just do 4 times 8?
Yep. And then add a D10.
Oh, and then it says +3, +3, +3 on each of these. What is that?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you get the full amount. Yeah. So
the problem here, the reason it's confusing is because it will add them to your hit points automatically. So you got to kind of look and just add out the difference.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's,
I see.
it's cool that it
In
adds
the-
them up automatically, but it is tricky when you're trying to max them all out and the system doesn't actually know.
In the future, yeah. If you guys are when you're going to use hit dice, just announce beforehand so that if Fox or Justin are going to use their boost things to help you guys with your hit
Mine's
dice.
pretty easy because it's just an extra D10.
Yeah.
Sounds good. I'll just use 5. Oh, I used 5. Shoot. All right. 50, 61. There you go.
God damn it. All right, hang on 1 sec, guys. I'll be right back. You guys can discuss. I'll be right back. If there's anything DM relevant, obviously let me know as soon as back. It'll be 1 minute.
All right. Pretty much back to half health almost, so that's good.
Okay, so what are we looking for here? A stat? No. What is it?
Well, the statue's head looks like it moved at some point, so that could be a trigger, or that could be something to open up these doors, or to unlock something. So we've got to figure something about that statue. Possibly now with the spirit in it, something can happen.
Maybe. Have we tried pushing on the door?
Yeah, I asked if there were drag marks on the front, as if the statue kind of pulled back, but he says there's no drag marks, and the head was too big to move, and the door on our side is a flat, just a flat wall with no handles, and it looks like it kind of opens from the inside, unless there's another way in.
It is hot as balls in my fucking garage.
There is another way in, but we have to go back up out of the hole.
Yeah.
Right. Sorry, did I miss anything?
Nope. We're just
All
going to climb out of this hole.
So, before you do, I suppose, I mean, you certainly can. The room that you're in there has that statue there that the head moved on, that everybody's kind of half gathered around there. There is a door to the top left on the map there. It looks like it's just a solid piece, but it's actually, I guess I can move the wall here. Let me try that. It'd probably make you guys reflow the map before you'd be able to see it anyways. Basically, there's a door, a blocked door. It would be secret door on the other side, but you can see it from this side because you guys came in from, not the correct entrance, I guess. But it doesn't show any, means of opening it from this side.
Is this like a picture or something on the floor down at the other end of this hall?
I mean, it's
Here?
like the big,
Just
the
like
big
wings?
bird shape. Yeah, yeah. It's in the floor. It is, damaged, as shown there.
And can I just look around for anything that looks like it might be a mechanism to open the door?
Sure. Perception, investigation.
No, investigation's not great. Better than perception, though. Nope. Oh, wait.
That re-rolled automatically. So, 10 won't do it though. Your light on yourself, Pogo. Is that what you're doing? You muted, Justin?
Sorry, what was that?
Did you cast light on yourself? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, I was casting that on my sword so I could see better. I was trying to figure out how to actually turn it on my thing, but
Right click yourself, and it's a little fire icon on the top left. I did it for you though.
yeah,
Sarah,
I don't know what thing. That's okay.
it might be DM only then,
Yeah.
or the add-on might not be working.
cool.
I don't know. I did it for you anyways. Sarah with a 10. The only things moving basically beyond you guys are there's still kind of a thin stream of dust and sand that is falling out of like a neck crease in the statue, where the statue had it's a big like cobra hood, like a top of the head of a snake, that was sitting upright and facing the door. When you guys initially came in here, that was where it was, but when Nazim had come in and shouted that, the statue moved like face down almost, looking downwards between its paws.
Can I go take a look at what's between its paws? Because we're supposed to look for Misetsu's hood, so...
Sure.
Maybe.
So you setting Arteme down so that she can, investigate on her own if she wants to. You make your way over there.
I'm on the floor now. I'm just walking.
Oh, you step down. Okay. All right. In that case, it's a little bit tall for you, but let's say that you jumping up on tippy toes.
Float, then I'll float up there and like
I'll
go
stand
with her to look
on
at
its
it,
legs.
too.
It's fine. I'm just kidding. Anyways, all right, Arteme. It is more than 3 feet up, but between the broom and with Arteme there, anyways, you guys can see it. There's a small like stone bowl shape that's carved into the statue that are between its paws. The statue is now looking down at it, and the hood of the snake is. How do I word this? So, imagine like if a person is wearing a hood, like in a movie or something like that, and they've got a hood pulled down over their eyes. If they were looking straight up, you could probably see it, but when they're looking down, you can't see their eyes anymore. And that's the shape that it's at. It's face down at this bowl that is there's a couple of small cylinders that look like stone in it, and that's it in the bowl.
Are the cylinders removable?
They're like little rocks. But that's what you see. Is anybody touching it?
Well, I'm going to use Mage Hand to grab one of the little stones because I'm curious.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, no, Sarah's not touching anything in a tomb. The last time she did that, she her arm.
She lost an arm.
I'm gonna pick up the stone. I'm just gonna pick up one of the stones using Mage Hand.
Okay.
See if
it looks like a small piece of petrified wood. But as soon as you lift it up with a mage hand, like it's still, even if you're close enough to see it, you can kind of get an idea that this looks like petrified wood.
I'm basically lifting it up, taking it kind of out, and then I'm gonna bring the stone to me with mage hand. I'm not getting close to it in case it explodes or something weird.
Well, there is something that happens when you do pick it up. There is a creaking whisper that is the same voice that was echoing the of who had spied the throne when you had come down here. It is clearly the same. The lich that is inside the statue, although he is currently disembodied, the voice echoes from the statue and throughout this chamber here. That's why you guys were hearing it weirdly above, by the way, because it was echoing through this chamber, then coming up through the hole, and then the sandstorm. So anyways, it is now much more loud and cacophonous inside of this tiny chamber. That's a large chamber, but you know what I mean, like compared to the outside. But it says, "Shed eyes that meet mine, but grieve not at my loss." It says this. I'll put it in the chat there.
I'm pretty sure it wants someone to pull their own eyeballs out. We gotta find someone to pull their eyeballs out and then put them in the statue. And then
not even you guys. You got to find a sacrificial.
Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna do it. We can go get Garrups.
You got to pop his eyes anyways, right?
They're probably just hanging out somewhere.
Let me look around a little bit here.
I mean, we haven't gone. We still have the giant boulder thing that was falling down up top. Do you want me to go take a look at that? See if that goes anywhere.
I mean, sure.
All right.
Can you get up there?
Norok, toss me. Toss me up there.
Nobody
Take
tosses
the
a halfling.
broom.
No, just toss me. I'll be fine. I can jump back down if I need to. I know where the hole is and everything. It's fine.
All right. With Pogo's acrobatics, you do feel pretty confident that if you just fast swallow him through the hole or
I feel
towards
like once because you could lift me up easy with one hand, and I'm probably at that point only like 5-6 feet away from the freaking top.
Yeah, but you're 3 feet tall. You got to jump your own height.
Just checking.
I mean, honestly, between your guys'
land on
tools,
sand, it's soft. It's soft ground option.
Well, it's stone above, but still,
Yeah.
I mean, it's still
It's stone and
it is an achievable goal for level 15 players for you to be able to, using a rope and a hook or something, climb your way back out of there with Norok's help. So then Pogo, you make your way up to the surface there. The sandstorm is still kind of blaring out there, so it's difficult to see and stinging your eyes, but you don't see any other threats. You make your way around to to where the stone had been. It has now fallen in. You see the tops of some stairs. They are covered in sand, but it's basically this kind of step pyramid of sand, basically, that you could easily slide down. Wouldn't be comfortable to try to probably walk on because the sand will begin to slip and then you'll just fall down the stairs. So you kind of carefully make your way down. The giant boulder is blocking the way through, but there is enough space for you to be able to climb over it. Norok size, maybe not. Maybe, you're not sure. But I'm going to go ahead and move you over to that side real quick because it is right over here.
All right. I'm just going to... Oh, okay. I get it.
Yeah, it's like blocking the way forward. I mean, it's blocking the majority of the way forward. It fell down right where you're standing. Basically, it was right here, but it fell down and then started rolling down the steps basically and has stopped there. Yeah, and it is kind of short up on all the corners with
I
sand.
still got light on my thing.
Yeah, on your sword.
Am I down enough to where I'm a little bit more out of the storm, or is it still pretty heavy on me?
The storm is kind of blowing over the top of the surface. It's not affecting you where you're at.
So it's not as bad down here.
Correct.
Using my light, can I see any way around the stone, or is it still?
Yeah, there's not much of a gap at the top. It's probably 3 or 4 feet. It would just, you could climb up and through it without any difficulty. Nazim and Arteme probably could fit through it just fine. They'd have to kind of shinny through. Norok might be too big to be able to fit through.
I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna squeeze past.
Okay. All right, I'll move you over.
And when I get to the other side, I'm gonna stop and I'm actually gonna yell because I'll probably have a fairly decent idea of where I am compared to where everyone else is. But I'm just gonna go ahead and yell to the team. Can you hear me? Where are you guys? I feel like I'm probably close.
Everybody that isn't Pogo, you hear him coming through from the other side of that fake door.
Do I see the fake door, or
no? It is smooth for you. You can see it on Justin can see it on the map, but Pogo, it's just a smooth wall.
Pogo just smooth.
Although I would tell you that because Nazim had pointed it out, you do know that it's supposed to be along that wall somewhere. You just can't really tell necessarily where.
Sure. I'll see what happens after I yell out.
Yeah,
I'll
yell
back.
back.
I'm gonna go ahead and ready my just in case. I'm focusing on the rest of the hallway, but I'm going to. I'm gonna go ahead and ready Toll the Dead. Actually, you know what? No, this guy that was just there was undead. So just in case, I'm gonna ready the Eldritch Blast on the hallway ahead of me.
Okay.
Just in case. That's what I'm focusing.
Sure. There are many uncomfortably large, fist-sized spiders scurrying into corners and things like that, but nothing that is a huge threat. Let's say. Just very big spiders that have probably been in here a long time and very thick cobwebs. But apart from that, nothing moving or anything.
Can you hear me, friends? Friends.
You doing the echo yourself? What are you guys doing?
Do I have a mirror?
Especially with your noble background, I would say that it's probably a reasonable item for Sarah to carry, sure.
Okay, I'm gonna hold the mirror under him so, he looks back at his own eyes. I just want to see if anything happens.
Huh. All right, so let's be clear then there. What you said is fine. I just want to make sure that I understand exactly what you're doing here. Are you trying to set it so that it would be reflecting only its own face and you would not be seeing what's in the mirror? Or are you trying to see, using your mirror, the face?
I mean, I want to say that I'm not, but I don't know that I'd be able to place it right without catching a glimpse of what is there.
Okay, that's fair. I don't. This isn't really something you need to make a roll for. Because it's kind of, it doesn't matter necessarily, except there's data you might get depending on which choice you made. But it isn't. Shit. Okay.
I'll look into the mirror, but not directly at it to see what happens.
Okay. All right. That's fair. Between the two of you, using the mirror, anyways, you can see that the stone face of the statue is not animated. It is just a statue that has some mechanism in it that was allowing it to face down. You do, of course, recognize that the phylactery is likely inside of that statue somewhere, but you don't see anything of that sort. There's nothing visible in that way. The eyes of the statue, though, are some dusty gem. You don't recognize the color of it. It may be just not a popular one in the north in the Empire, but it is obviously covered in ages and ages of dust. But it does have these inset eyes into the snake face, but the hood of the snake is what's kind of obscuring it from being able to see it from the front. With the mirror, you are able to see that face. It is staring down at this bowl that has one little chunk of petrified wood still sitting in it. Pogo had pulled one out and taken it with him.
Haven't thought about slipping into the eye sockets.
What do you mean?
Oh, you said there's empty eye sockets looking down at the bowl. The bowl contains.
They're not empty. There's gems. Yeah, both of the eyes are a gem. They're a dusky gem.
Gotcha.
And it's staring down at the bowl.
I'm probably going to start looking around and poking around into sarcophagi or whatever's around here.
There are two tables in the back, but there's just broken potsherds on them. Looking around, this would be like below passive for your roll there. You do find a big stone disc, Nazim, that has a scarab on it, like emblazoned on the front of it.
Movable or just?
Yeah, it's not huge. It's well, in fact, actually, when you guys were at the Iskal Temple, it's similar to that kind of size of this. So it's probably 8 or 9 inch disc, perfectly smooth on both sides, except for the shape of the scarab on one.
Based on what Nazim's seen, something of interest or not this time?
Not beyond that. I mean, there's a bunch of other broken bits of clay, ceramic pieces, vases, and amphora and things like that. But nothing that stands out as potentially useful. That disc is the only unbroken thing that you found.
Not to jinx ourselves, but what if we stare into the eyes of this thing?
Yeah, I was just going to say, if nothing happened with the statue when it looked at its own reflection, I would look at them.
You'd have to you'd have to get kind of under it. You can do it though.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll go.
Okay. It's a little bit awkward with it facing down like that, but you look up at the eyes and
just like upside down. On
yeah,
the
exactly.
Especially if it doesn't fall.
Yeah, especially as small as you are, that's a difficult position to get. But with the broom and with Artemis' help, you are able to kind of face upwards into the statue's eyes. Nothing happens.
Does it look like if I tried to pry the gems out that the little round things that were in the bowl would fit in the socket where it came out?
They don't look to be the same size, no. The things that were in the bowl are chunks of petrified wood. They look like stone because they've been here for a couple hundred thousand years at this point. Long before elves and halflings had evolved. To the current forms, anyways. This bowl was a small bowl that is currently stone, anyways, or likely petrified as well, with 2 chunks of wood in it at one point. There's only 1 chunk of wood now, but it is petrified, anyways. So I will tell you that it would stand to reason that the communication that was had between that creature when you first arrived was riddle in nature, and this seems that is likely the same. It only spoke it when the statue was touched, and it was only touched the once when Pogo had grabbed the petrified wood from it, and that's it. It just kind of echoed out that shed eyes that meet mine, but grieve not at my loss.
Take out the other one.
It repeats. Then you pull the other chunk of stone out, and it repeats that line. It's clearly alive, like it's still in there. It's just, it can't reform. It's not a threat to you guys currently. but it is the lich that's speaking it.
Do the pieces of wood have like markings or carvings, or do they look like they were like burned at any point?
They look like ritualistic in nature, not carved or anything of that sort, but like they were
Carved
formed.
totem.
Well, that's the thing. So not like that, but like clearly the way they were placed looks like it was a ritual of some sort, and that they were burned and turned to charcoal and eventually into stone.
Or maybe light a fire in here?
I use produce
See if
flame.
something happens.
On closer inspection, could we at least tell what those charred remains could have been?
Yeah, by looking at them, and again, this isn't something you would need to roll for because, I mean, you'd be familiar with what wood looks like. It is literally just small chunks of burned wood that were cut into, a small enough shape to fit into this bowl that were burned, but, literally hundreds of thousands of years ago, a couple 100,000 years ago, and have just turned to stone with age. That's it.
Yeah,
But they don't have anything etched into them or anything of that sort. Arteme, the stone doesn't catch, I guess is how I'd put that. So Sarah was holding one, Pogo has the other, but the stone is just too artifacted at this point to
Wood.
yeah, it doesn't burn. So
I
you
will-
can produce flame, but it won't catch. It'll be a mote that just burns out when it hits something, that's all.
I'll fly up. Is there like any shrubs, twigs, anything that I
Yeah.
can just gather and bring
Yeah.
down?
You fly up. You looking down the hole. You see a giant rock that is blocking the hole. You don't see Pogo down the stairs. The kind of this sled almost of sand, and then a giant boulder that's blocking the rest of the way. So Pogo must have gone further in before he had shouted to you. But there are like dead shrubs. They're mostly the kind of that live in desert areas. So that they're some are dead, but some are just hardy. Small branches of trees and things like that, but you have enough up there to certainly grab little bits of wood.
All right, so I'll bring it back down and put it in there for some kindling.
Okay.
Not a catch.
You set the
I'll use produce flame again.
okay, that does catch. You put it in the bowl. The fire catches and is beginning to emit this thick, acrid smoke that is definitely uncomfortable to be near. Is how I'll put that. Just
Throw
in that
some bleach on it.
it's almost like that. It's almost chemical in nature. It's the kind of thing that definitely stings the eyes at the very least. The statue doesn't react. There's nothing else there, but it is caught fire and it is kind of burning between the paws of the statue, who is still staring down at it.
Do we think this would have been enough time for me looking around to see if I could find a hidden door or something from this side? While they're doing that?
Probably.
Did anyone really respond to me, or everyone just kind of like,
Oh no, I said I yelled at that we could hear you.
Yeah.
ah,
Yeah. It's like they were just ignoring you this whole time?
Yeah.
No, Sarah said it. I'm going to talk over her. Give me a perception check with disadvantage on your side. You can feel a like a divot in the wall just by walking up to the wall and pressing your hands, almost like you're trying to find a stud in a modern house. You can feel just by kind of tapping against it where the hollowest part of it is, and where the little divot of the shape of the door would be, but it is solid with age.
Okay.
But you do. This is definitely the other side of the part that you had seen that Nazim had pointed out on the other side. For everyone else that's still on the other side of the chamber, it is definitely stinging your eyes by now and beginning to, like I said, very uncomfortable for you to be near. But it is burning. It is doing what you expect it's supposed to. Anybody do anything?
Do we see
yeah, I'm
anything
using
happen?
Eldritch Blast on this old ass door.
All right. Okay. Hang on. No, you can't. It's target creature only. I would say
Is
that you
there
still
anything
can.
around?
So hang on. Let me go through these real quick here. You can blast the door, like you can blast this chunk there to try to work your way through it. It's not going to be the full force damage because it is intended for a creature, but you can hit it the same as you guys have with.
I'm gonna hit it with like 3 Eldritch Blasts.
Yeah, exactly.
At the fucking door.
It will take you a while to chip your way through it with the amount of.
Those 3.
All right, you've knocked out probably a good cubic inch of material of the door. You'd eventually make your way out. It's just going to take a while, or way through, I guess. Nazim, you said something, and then Arteme. Nazim, what were you saying there?
I was saying we're just looking carefully in this whole chamber to see if anything has actually changed or moved or have been altered after burning these things.
You haven't seen anything else move. Nothing else changed at all when the burning started. It's basically the only thing moving now is the flames and the smoke coming up off of it. The smoke is very thick. Let's see. Intelligence checks from everybody in the room.
I'm also gonna yell through. Hey, Norak, if you can hear me, they try to push on this fucking wall. Or pull. I don't know. I don't see a sign.
It's actually a rotating door.
All right, I'll go try to help. Yes.
Norok.
That is fantastic. Norok, you intuit something that the riddle must be further relevant than initially thought. You recognize, especially having been thinking on the, let's say the nature of language at the very least, with the inscription that is on your sword, or Vulcanbreaker currently, the axe, more aromatic shape. That is currently was a sword previously, in that the language of that is definitely different. This is obviously still different, and that the arrangement of words is sometimes wonky when translated. And with the constant stinging in your eyes, you keep having to kind of reach up and kind of wipe the tears, not tears, but the stinging, causing tears, let's say, from your eyes. You realize that there's probably something else there for that. Maybe there's something in that verbiage being rearranged.
Okay. Then can I share that thought with the group?
Sure.
Okay. And tell them to think of the words not exactly translated word for word directly, or like a loose translation. Maybe the words in a different spot or something, guys.
And you're all at this point wiping tears away from your face from this thick smoke that is burning him.
Grieve not at my loss. Look at us crying over him right now.
Yeah, so do we need to...
I'm getting a little scared over here alone, guys. If anyone wants to come on.
Yeah, oh, sorry.
Hang out over here.
I'll go with the wall.
Because I don't know what you're doing.
All right.
It's been a while. Do I smell smoke?
Let's even more panic for a little pogo. Norak, you're going to start wailing at the wall with your Warmatic then?
Yeah, I'm going to help.
All right.
Check.
That leaves Nazim and Arteme and Sarah over there wiping.
What if I just hold my face over it and just start dripping tears into the container?
Into the bowl? Okay.
Yeah, let the smoke irritate my eyes until the point of just irritation.
Sure.
And let it drip.
So you hold your head over it. You're kind of having to, face down directly into the bowl, basically, which is just a face full of this thick, acrid smoke. You are instantly choking, instantly blinded, but dripping tears into the bowl. And the moment the first drop hits, there is a rattling, a shaking of the door behind you as the door begins to rotate in place, almost pushing Pogo out of the way, who's standing there trying to blast his way through as Norak approaches, about to swing with this Warmatic, nearly smashing Pogo in the face because the door is opening. The door swings into, rotating on axis basically until it's sideways, and a small cavity that is right behind the bowl. You guys didn't really, you wouldn't have been able to see it really, especially through the smoke. Moves backwards, revealing another small broken disc. So this one is snapped in pieces, and it is like crumbs basically, and half of a disc like the one that Nazim had picked up. This one has like a chunk of a crescent in it, and that's it. Sorry, no, not a chunk of a crescent. This is the Sorry, it is. Sorry, it's like you basically have like 3/4 of one of those flat discs that has most of a crescent on it.
Why is it so smoky in here, guys? Ugh.
I mean, the smoke is instantly trying to find another exit, not just the one above, but it is being sucked past Pogo as well. What are you guys doing?
I mean, we should probably go find Misetsu's head.
Yep.
The current disc that I found wouldn't fit where that broken disc is, I assume, or the broken disc is just shattered
It
everywhere.
would. No, the broken one has just been there a long time, and looks like it's damaged. There's still basically the other chunks are still there. It's just some of it is crumbled to dust at this point. It is the exact same size and shape as the plate you have, though. You have a plate with a scarab on it, and
Is there
this
a
one has a
recessed
crescent.
area to place this disc, if necessary?
I mean, if you pulled the other one out, yeah.
What do you think? Try it? Everybody?
Sure. I'm gonna hop back up on the broom.
Okay.
We can. I don't know what
Alright.
it's gonna. Sure.
We've watched The Mummy enough. I'm sure we'll have less scarabs.
Then you gather up the chunks of the crescent. Like I said, with the retrievable chunks, let's say, it's about 3/4 or so of the size of the plate. It's 3/4 of the shape. Let's say 1/4 of it is just crumbled to dust. But you gather up all that you can, kind of wipe away as much of the dust as you can. You set the scarab plate inside of it, and nothing happens. There's no reaction.
That was anticlimactic.
There is a kind of a whispered, evil-sounding chuckle coming from the statue, and that's it.
Did we sell the Misetsu stuff we had on us?
I think we saw
Not
the
all of it.
Well,
knife. We saw the knife.
We had
you guys
some
got rid
other
of some.
stuff.
You did get rid of some important bits. I'll put it that way. Of Misetsu parts. I think Norok actually dissented and suggested not doing so, but you ended up selling some of it long time ago.
Pogo didn't know
I
any of
don't
this
remember what we sold though.
I think I might have it written down. I would have to go through my notes.
I can tell you what it was, but it doesn't matter right now. It was a couple of things that Norok had that he didn't want to. Well, he didn't want to use, but suggested not to sell, and then you guys sold it, months later when you hadn't really thought about it. But you still have some of the items, though.
We probably forgot to not sell them. I don't know.
That's exactly what happened. This is, Norok had not wanted to sell it. One of the items was a scarab. It was a thing that if you it would burrow into the body, and if you died, it would prevent you from dying. But it had some severe, negatives.
remember
Negative
that.
impact.
Yep. So Norok didn't want to use it, but he didn't want to get rid of it, and then you guys sold it later on.
Yeah, we still have the rod of Misetsu.
You still have a couple of them. Yeah, you still have the Chris knife as well. Anyway, as far as this though, you set that one in there, Nazim, and it doesn't react beyond the Lich laughing at you.
Gotcha.
I'm guessing
Maybe
the
we should-
scarab would work here.
God damn it! It wasn't the crescent. Okay, sorry. It was the circle. Was the broken one. So I apologize. That was my mistake. So you have a broken 3/4 of a circle. There's a circle etched on it, but you imagine the rest of it would be, finishing the circle. You have about 3/4 of that one that's broken into pieces, and then an intact one that is a scarab.
But they look like the keys that we used in
Similar,
back on the islands, right?
yeah, in Gwynsair, yeah, the Iskil kind of plates that you had there that you'd use to get through a door. It's a very similar style. They're not quite the same shape, but you imagine that's exactly what these are for. This, in 200,000 years ago, these two different cultures, the people here and the people in the Gwynsair, the Iskil were there, and these are the Tegura here, had their similar means, let's say, of creating mechanical doors.
So maybe take
Take a
that
look,
with
go
us,
around.
just in case it opens a door.
Oh, sorry, I meant to unlock this logo so you could go through. There you go.
Yeah, let's just take that disc and then explore, see if we could find maybe the missing quarter piece or something different.
I'll put him in that shot here.
I'm still gonna just kind of keep looking out here and readying my Eldritch Blast just in case. So we continue now that you've played around with that statue and stole it, whatever thing it had, that plate. How's everyone feeling? Is everyone feeling chipper?
Yep. Yep,
A
we're
little bit
doing
better.
great.
Sure.
Nazim still has an unbearable, like 10 times migraine from a chunk of his brain basically being pulled out because that Ceramorph has been there, that tadpole had been there for so long. Is also still choking a little bit from the smoke, but everybody else should be, normal.
You know,
I
Is
guess.
he
Nazim,
noticing
you
anything
kind of-
different about
You
himself at
kind
this
of
point?
look like shit, Nazim. Like worse than usual.
The face melted off and like pouring blood from an ear. Like the bleeding stopped, but it's still bloody. As far as what Nazim would notice as far as his sense of self, I would say that right now would be almost too difficult to tell because of how beating that headache is. It's going to be difficult to concentrate on anything until that abates.
Also, Pogo's going to keep an eye out to see if there's any corpses. So he might be able to ask them questions.
Okay.
In this.
There's nothing in this chamber.
And he's generally going to be walking behind Norok, using him basically as a human shield in case something happens.
All right. That can generally be assumed in most cases.
Yeah,
for
so
Pogo
just
anyways.
when you're moving characters, just know I'm always going to be right behind Norok, chit-chatting a little bit, maybe.
All right.
Do
There
we-
are... What's that?
I was to say, do we see these doors up
Yeah.
here?
Yep, there are two doors.
Wait. What if they're traps, guys? What if there's traps?
I mean, Sarah's on a broom, so she's
Yeah,
not going
I'm
to
on
touch
the
on
broom
the
with her.
floor.
Do you see any
You're on the
traps?
broom too, Arteme? Okay.
I'm gonna look around this room for traps because it seems like this. If I was a dead mummy thing, this seems like a good trap room.
Okay. Give me a perception check.
I'm very good at perception.
I'm flying up to this door
Not terrible.
to take a look at her.
Okay. That door right there is split and broken. You can actually see partially through, without having to open it, which looks like it'd be difficult anyways. It has been broken. Like something has clearly impacted it from the other side and almost forced it out and split it down the middle vertically. And you can kind of see through where the split is into the chamber beyond. Actually, with your vision, you're able to see there are glinting things. Like you can't make them out easily because it is pitch black in that room, except for the the little bit of light that is coming in through 2 rooms away right now.
Well, I have 120 feet of dark vision. So
You do.
can
I just
see,
mean,
like,
yeah, you
shapes.
just colors are where the trouble comes in. So you can see like piles of small discs, little metallic discs that are glinting slightly. There's a broken wheel. You see like a broken wooden wheel, it looks like, and a bunch of like canopic jars.
Does the break in the door look ancient or fresh?
Oh yeah, no, long, yeah, very old. Pogo and Sarah, both of you kind of trying to very carefully, without stepping on anything that looks like it could be a trigger or anything of that sort, looking around as thoroughly as you possibly can. You don't see anything that looks like it could be set up as a trigger in here. Obviously, it's hard to tell, but nothing that stands out as a, if you step on this the wrong way, it's going to send out poison darts or anything like that.
Would putting a light up help?
I already got light.
Yeah, Pogo has a light emanating from his sword already, so between that and then your decent elf vision, as it is not dark vision, but
I'm gonna send in my lights into the room just to get a better look.
I'm gonna go ahead and open the door. The door is still technically closed, but you'll be able to see inside because of your dancing lights through the hole. You do have to get relatively close to the hole in the wall to be able to see it, but with the dancing lights,
so it's not like a big hole; it's a little one.
No, I mean it's good size, but for you to be able to see into the chamber, without doing the whole screen door effect where you have to move back and forth constantly, you just don't have much of a cone of vision to be able to see in. But there's nothing moving in there except for as soon as you send the dancing lights in through the hole, there is immediately just a huge amount of very small flurrying of things moving into corners and trying to get behind giant canopic jars, things like that. Dozens and dozens of tiny, well, I say tiny, again, about fist-sized spiders, not, monsters, let's roll initiative type spiders, but just giant, regular spiders. All right, Fox. You can see into the room now, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are
You
those
see...
shields?
No, those are giant jars. Massive, they're jars with holes, with lids on them. There is... Now that you can see a little better with it illuminated, like a chariot, like the remains of a wooden chariot that have long since petrified, and 2 skeletons of large reptilian creatures. You don't recognize the species. Like, imagine basically horses, but these are not horse skeletons. Imagine a chariot, I guess is what I'm saying, except they were, some reptilian form. And coins. There are coins. They're not neatly collected. They're kind of scattered all over the floor in small piles.
And the jars, are they like intact?
Many of them broken. Still probably a dozen intact.
Anything? Are they like see-through, like glass?
No. They're ceramic. Yeah, like very old age ceramic. You do see a few more discs though in this room. The stone discs. Sorry. And you know what? Well, you know what? I guess with it illuminated, you don't have the door open. It's still split. But with the lights, when you're moving back and forth, you can see that something came down from the ceiling that had been suspended, probably. You can't see the object. You can just see the frame that is holding something that hit the door and split it in half. Something was triggered, basically, and it split it, came down, hit the door, probably intended to be a trap that would hit a person that opened the door, but the door was still in place, and therefore it split the door.
Okay. I'm just gonna yell at Nora. Hey, can you come beat this door down? Because I think there's more distance.
Are you talking to me?
I mean, whoever wants to come beat the door down.
Norok, it is so like aged and broken. You can pretty easily just push on it and it's going to fall and collapse in. You can see with Sarah's got some dancing lights inside on the other side of the door. You can see the frame that I was just referring to. It's like a big V shape that was suspended at the ceiling, and there's probably a metal something, a spike, a log, something like that was intended to impale whoever opened the door, but it fell. Maybe an earthquake broke it, you don't know, but it fell at one point and it hit the door and has kind of jammed the door is all. So you could probably just, force your way through it. It'll just be a matter of being careful not to, hit whatever the thing is that impaled the door.
Right then.
I'll make sure you have some light there so you can see everything in the room. It's gonna hold my sword kind of like in between his legs a little bit.
He's got dancing lights on the other side, but...
never mind. That he's fine.
All right, G. You kind of pushing through the chunks of door that are kind of split and ready to fall off if they weren't being held up by this sharpened log, basically, that had swung down. As soon as you push them out of the way, it kind of begins to kind of creak free, but whatever dust and stuff that has kind of caked up the works in the ceiling keep it from moving much. So you can kind of push past it. You feel like if you push much harder, that for you to get into that room, it could come loose from the ceiling basically and fall. You could intentionally just rip it off if you wanted.
Yeah, I'll get it out of the way so it doesn't.
Okay.
Fall.
All right. The chains or whatever they had been at some point on the ceiling have long since rusted through. It's basically just stone in place, but you can easily kind of just yank and the whole thing comes loose. It does make a huge racket as it's just rattling this cacophonous noise through this whole place. But you pull this trap basically down from the ceiling and you can toss it to the side, out of the way. So the room is now open for anyone to go into if they chose.
And there's a bunch of big urns on there, you said?
Yeah. Is there like a bunch of gold and shit laying around? I'll fucking jump in this room.
Yeah, there's coins all over the floor. They're scattered. It's not.
I'm gonna be an idiot. I'm just gonna go start picking up all the coins and putting them in my pockets and bags.
Okay.
And also opening whatever these jars are, pouring them out to see what's inside. The
okay.
Oh no! Don't pour them out. No.
Sorry, this is Pogo.
It's like intestines.
Okay.
So, ash now.
All right. So Sarah knows what a canophic jar is. Haven't you? Sarah, this was before Pogo had joined. Sarah, Norok, and Arteme had done some tomb raiding before and learned about canophic jars.
I will only open one and pour it on the ground, and realizing
sure.
It's not.
I would say that as soon as Pogo lifts the lid off of one, there is an unbearable, immediately retching smell emanating from the jar, and as you try to tip it, it just kind of aerates, like wine, I guess. The smell of long since melted organic goop that had been sealed inside of these jars, essentially to keep it from evaporating over time. But everybody give me a con save. So Artemis in the room as well on the broom, so she's gonna have to make one too. Nazim is in real rough shape. This vomiting is gonna be tough on him too.
Even me, I'm outside of the room.
If you didn't go in, I'd say if you're still outside, it's gonna still be bad. But if you're not, in that enclosed environment, I think you're okay, Nazim. You're already bad enough, anyways. With the yeah, you're kind of where it would have to go through though. Like the air's going to be sucked out through this tiny little chamber. So, yeah, Pogo is trying to hold it back as best he can, but all four of you, Artemis didn't see a roll from you, but for the momentary reaction, let's say, yeah, this is you're adding to the organic goop on the floor now with the lunch that you'd had previously. The room itself, though, has
bad, guys. The soup's real bad.
yeah, Norok, Artemis, and Sarah have seen canopic jars and tombs like this before, but yeah, they were basically the organs of the important people that are entombed here, is what you gather must have been in that jar. But, it takes you a good solid minute to get over this severe nausea as you begin looking through this room here. You can see the remains, like I said, of this chariot and two beasts of burden, the skeletons of beasts of burden you don't recognize the shape of. And then, a dozen or so that are intact of these jars, other ones that are broken, and then coins that are just scattered haphazardly. And then those plates, there's more of those stone discs as well.
Does anyone know what these stone discs do? I saw you grab it from the other room. What is it? What even does it? What is it?
I mean, I'm assuming they're similar to the keys that we used in the other tomb on the aisle.
So we need them to get into more rooms, like locks. They're like keys for locks.
I mean, maybe. They could be something completely different.
We got to remember, too, I'm pretty sure when we did it wrong, we got fucked up. So we got to be careful in case that happens here, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Pogo almost got knocked unconscious.
I'm taking all the gold, by the way, whatever I can find in here.
It's gonna take you, a good 10 minutes or so if you're just gonna go coin by coin and pick them up individually off the floor. That's totally fine. Yeah, that's fine. Some of them, there are a couple dozen that are currently covered in lunch, but apart from that, if you were to wash them off with prestidigitation or whatever, you can gather up 400 coins in here.
Yeah, sweet.
When you actually count them, it's probably 405, we'll say.
Is there anything else in here, like treasure-wise?
No, there's nothing else that looks valuable, let's say.
Okay, I guess we'll try and grab the discs.
Okay.
Let me see what symbols are on the discs.
Yeah, so one of them is
this grave robbing? Is this archaeology at this point?
At this point, it's probably archaeology because they've been dead for so long.
I'm an
still grave
archaeologist.
robbing.
Archaeology technically is grave robbing, and since we're not actually with a society of archaeologists.
Anyone asks, bro.
So, you find an intact one that is just laying flat on the floor that has an image of a clutch of eggs. Little spotted eggs. Here, in fact, I'll do it this way because there's other broken ones too. So, intact, you find a clutch of eggs, one that has a pyramid shape, and that's it for those. And then broken ones that are missing chunks they've just been broken with time. Find a broken lion, like a face of a lion, one that shows an oasis. That's it. Those 4. You can add those to the 2 you already had, of course. So,
anybody have mending?
Fuck, no, I don't.
Used to, but I never used it. I changed it out.
You need the rest of the thing to do mending anyways, and these are missing chunks.
Mm.
You could just break a chunk off one of the other ones, try to put it with that one. Does anyone have any glue? How sticky is the shit that came out of this stinky?
I mean, it's not.
No.
Yeah,
I'm not
it's more.
It's dunk some in there and try to stick it together. No, I'm all right. Does anyone have any tape? Who's got some tape?
So you have right
Did
now.
we
You
even
have
exist
6.
back then?
I mean, adhesives, glue. Yeah. I mean, you make glue out of horses. So
Yeah, we gotta
those,
melt
stuff like
down a
that.
horse real quick.
Yeah, hooves, things like that.
There's no like scrolls or anything else in here.
Nope.
And the
You
creature-
would know paper wouldn't last like this unless it was secured in a certain way,
Yeah.
like that scroll case that you had, Sarah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go out.
All right.
Get
It
away from the
is-
smell.
Yeah, it's a lot better out than in. The smell in there is would get troublesome after a while. Across from you do see another door. This one looks intact but just aged. It's not split like the other one was.
Does it have a keyhole?
Nope. Just a door.
I'm gonna check to see if it's locked, or does it have any handles, or is these just like stone doors that kind of move on hinges with?
Yeah, there would have been a hinge on the side, on the left side, that you can see, but it is long since just kind of frozen in solid place. It's essentially just a thin stone slab of petrified wood now.
I'm gonna try to push on it. Does it open or?
It definitely has some give to it. It's going to take some strength to do it.
I'm gonna kind of like scrunch up my face and just kind of like push on it and see if it starts making like this, like as hard as I can, to see if it starts, moving and making probably a terrible stone on stone grinding sound as it's slowly opening up.
Make a strength check.
Oh, this is my good attribute right here.
Yeah, Pogo's known for his strength.
Ah.
You push on it, and there is, of the slightest of gives, a little tiny trickle of dust falling down from the ceiling.
Okay, no, I can't do that. Sorry. Someone else give that a try. That's not gonna happen. I'm pretty sure it's magical, and no one's gonna be able to move it. I think we just need to go home. It's not possible.
It's just like the jar of pickles that nobody can open. It's not possible for there to be somebody strong enough.
Am I able to sense anything arcane behind that? Or
You don't see not the door itself doesn't seem to have any enchantment or anything. It just looks like
I'm just kind of using my sword as like a back scratcher right now. While they're waiting.
Causing weird shadows as Pogo takes his sword and tries to scratch his back, casting giant halfling shadows against the wall.
The trick is to go left to right with it. That's the trick. So if you go
Norok,
up and down, then you hurt yourself.
Norok, this is below your passive. You can shove into the door. It does indeed scrape because there's no air gap at the bottom. It's just solid stone that has been or wood rather that has become stone over time. But you do shove the door open.
That for you. I got that for you. Good job, everybody. Team effort.
It scrapes its way open, reveals another kind of narrow-ish hallway. You can fit through it just fine, but there is a narrowish hallway. Before you step in, Norok, you do see a metal toothed saw blade basically sticking out of the wall, halfway up. About for you would be like waist height, sticking out of the wall, like halfway out. Like imagine a saw blade that is just halfway inside the wall horizontally.
All right, and that's like directly in front of me.
On the far side, yeah. On the far side, yeah.
All right.
It's not moving. It's frozen in place.
All right, then I'm gonna move and say, you guys see there's a saw blade over there on the wall. I don't know if that's supposed to be part of a trap or not. But I want to look around before we go running in there.
Does it look like a trap to Pogo?
It does. It looks like a trap that has been sprung. I guess is how I would say that. It's like I don't know how many guys. Has anybody ever seen a table saw that has been triggered, like tripped, and is stuck?
Yeah.
That's it. Looks like it's stuck, like it's something in it, like there's stuff stuck in the blades. Old material. No, well, not biological material, but just
probably
old
like
dust
a
and stuff like that.
or something.
Yeah,
right.
I mean it's stuck though.
He's gonna put his body up against the wall, keeping an eye out for anything else that might shoot out.
Okay.
As he slowly enters this room.
Staring down the hallway there, with your sword for illumination, you can see multiple spots. There's 4 of them that you can see where a saw blade is stuck out of the wall. One of them is not all the way. It doesn't look like it misfired maybe when it started to
Guys,
come
I'm
out of the wall.
thinking someone's already been here, or these traps just were not well designed originally. I'm gonna use just mage hand out in front of me by like 10 feet as I slowly start walking, looking for any kind of traps on the ground.
That's exactly what I was referring to there, Stocko. What to do just out in front of you in open air, or What is the mage hand doing?
Yeah, it's just like 10 feet in front of me, like just maybe if it gets sensed, if it triggers something before I
Okay.
do. I don't know exactly. I'm just keeping an eye out for pressure plates, keeping
Okay.
mage hand up.
Give me a perception check for Sarah and Pogo.
Perception's bad.
Okay. You can see with the illumination from Pogo's sword. Actually, Sarah, you can see, without color, of course, but you can see a bunch of bones near the end of the hallway. Skeleton, like parts of skeletons, some humanoid and some not. You do recognize, of course, that this tomb, at the time it was created, would not have been. Humanoid species haven't evolved yet at that point, not to the kind of state that they currently are. So these obviously came later, is what I'm saying. And all the traps the obvious traps that you can see have been triggered, in that all these holes that are in the floor have a discoloration around them that probably wasn't intended to be there because it's irregular. Like the discoloration isn't the same perfect circle or anything like that. Clearly, something came up out of those at one point and left behind some residue that has since stained the stone beneath it. And then the saw blades that are stuck in the wall. There are a couple of hanging like rack type things on the ceiling where something was hanging and is not there currently, or not there anymore. That had to have been a trap of some sort at that point. But anyways, nothing stands out as being currently threatening. It seems like this place was definitely rigged for many traps in here, and maybe they were successful and caused the bodies at the end of the skeletons at the end of the hallway there, or just deactivated.
Oh, there are
the stage.
skeletons at the end of the hallway?
Yeah, there's piles of bones at the end of the hallway.
All right, I am going to avoid those circles with the green whatever.
Yep.
I'm going to go to the end of the hallway, and I am going to find a skull.
Okay.
Just tell me how far I have to go. Is it like these piles, these ones?
Yeah, right there. Yep.
All right, and I'm going to. You'd probably Pogo would know this, but for Speak with Dead,
Mhm.
it still works on skulls, even though technically they don't have like a word system. It's all just magic, right?
I think so. I click it. I mean, the thing is, the speaking of a physical nature would require tongues and muscles and and so on to kind of move a voice box. But to a corpse within choice of range,
No, it says the corpse must still have a mouth.
must have a mouth and
Never
can't be undead. Yeah, so it wouldn't work
No,
in this case.
never mind then. I will just keep going,
Okay.
checking for traps. Now, since there's bones here,
Mhm.
does it look like all the traps ahead of it have still been triggered, or does this now look like maybe these ones?
There's a saw blade that's right by where Sarah is that is half
Okay,
jutting out of
so
the wall there. It looks like this whole hallway, they hit just about everything along the way. Yeah.
This doorway's open.
Yeah, it's not a door. There's no door. It's just a doorway. Yeah, like an arch.
Keep fucking going. Do we see any traps in this next section? No, everyone, catch up. We need someone. We can't just have you we've already made sure we're not getting hit with anything.
Well, they were sitting the halflings ahead on purpose because you're the smallest targets for traps. So
We're harder to hit. We are harder to hit.
Arteme and Nazim just letting you guys go first.
Well,
Did
I'm
they-
still in the room with Sarah, so
Oh,
she's
sorry.
not
Oh,
getting any
that's right.
traps.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
right. Let me move you over. Nazim, do you want me to move you down?
Nazim just has a real bad headache.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's had a rough day for sure. Part of his brain decided it didn't want to be in there anymore.
Right.
all right.
Pogo's probably going to stop holding that spell now that he's feeling like there's, a little bit safer. He's going to focus mostly on perception, looking around to see if there's anything that could give a clue as the next spots we should go.
Okay.
Just
Well,
kinda
stop.
looking around for clues.
Hole?
Yeah, stop right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a hole in the floor. You can see cracked tile, like stone, not ceramic tile, but wood, stone rather. What's the things you put in like a yard for like a walkway?
Terracotta or something.
Like little chunks of stone plinth that you use as a walkway if you're going to go like across grass or something like that. You put them in a
Like
yard usually.
flagstone or something.
Flagstones. There's a specific word for it. That's fine. The flagstones are close enough. Yeah. Anyways, like cracked chunks of stone basically that had fallen away where clearly this had been another trap that has just fallen away. Maybe with time, you don't know, where the stones have cracked off in half and left that space between. But in the looking around basically along the tunnel there, Pogo, especially having kind of focused your attention on looking for him, you do see more discs in this kind of hallway here. There's more bones as well. Traps that have continued, along around the corner had continued in this hallway as well. Had
More
also gone
discs
off.
just randomly on the ground?
Yep.
Fuck
More
me.
broken ones, some intact, some broken. And then across on the other side of that hole in the floor, which does fall down a good 50, 60 feet into a pit with spikes at the bottom, and there's more bones down there. But on the other side of the gap there, you can see a door that has two two little recesses where those plates would obviously fit.
You girls want to go since you're on the broom and see what that door is all about?
Yeah, I have a question. So
Mhm.
about the broom of flying. So it says you can send the broom to travel alone to a destination within 1 mile of you. Could I just send it back across so people could just ferry themselves
Yeah, of course.
back over?
Yeah.
All right, because it's fixed now, so Norok can technically ride it. Yes.
By himself, yeah. It won't
Yeah.
move. It's at half speed with Norok on it, but yeah, he can.
Okay,
He
then I
can
will
jump
get
over
over
that
here.
anyways.
Oh, well,
But yeah, I mean, if you guys are on the other side, he's probably going to hit you when he lands on the other side. But yeah,
good to know in the future.
yeah.
If I need to send the
So you make it to the other side. I'm going to try to see if I can draw on here real quick. I meant to do a little simple VA for this, but I didn't get around to it. So what you see on the other side, draw freehand, is real shitty circle. It's actually a perfectly fine circle. That's just me. That's just my bad. It's the outside of it is perfectly fine, and then the two insets where discs would fit are on either side like that. So all three of those are perfect circles, but there's one outer one, and then a perfect one on the left and a perfect one on the right where there's an inset where those plates would fit. Everybody see that in the middle of the hallway that I drew there? Real shitty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there any like carvings that could depict which discs are supposed to go into this door?
No.
Language, anything?
Nope. But Pogo found more discs as he's looking around, so.
Yeah, so I've got more discs, and and also down in this hallway it doesn't say, can't see anything what it might show which disc to go in.
You don't see writing of any sort anywhere in here. You haven't seen, inscriptions or anything inside the place at all. The only words that you saw, like etched in stone, basically, were above, and it was on the stone statue above. And that was more recent. That isn't as old as this place.
All right, we'll just, I guess, throw a couple in there, see what happens. And I'm just going to put them behind this wall.
With the others you find, I'm going to give you guys the full list of all of them that you've found so far. Pogo, you found 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more. 3 of them were broken, but you now have this many. You have all. Hang on, let me fix the formatting on those real quick here.
And we need to put 2 over by that door.
Correct.
All right. Did we? Serpent, scared, crescent, pyramid, sand dunes, clutch of eggs. Could this have anything to do with the kind of riddle song thing that the Lich was singing?
Well,
I would say that it would seem likely to Pogo, certainly, and probably all of you, and Nazim definitely as well, that the means of opening this thing have been dictated to you so far by the Lich in both previous cases. You imagine it would likely be the same for this third case. That Lich was clearly
with our kings who have you spied the throne thing.
Yeah, it says
that was at least one entrance. That was something you would use to get in initially. Although you guys came in a different way, that did move the rock, which is what you initially needed. The second one, I think Nazim actually figured it out there about shedding eyes. That meant tears, shedding tears, and not of grief, but from the smoke, and hence. That's how Nazim had figured out that riddle there. You don't know what the riddle is. Let's say for this door yet is how I put that. You found that you solved the 2 previous and they had a reaction, so you assume that those are done. You just don't know what this one is yet. I will tell you though that. Well, go ahead, Sarah.
Oh no, you go first. Go.
Damn it! All right.
Uh-huh.
So I was gonna give you a little hint here, but I mean, naturally, this would have crossed the minds of both of these so far. So Nazim, the Lich spoke out when you touched the stone statue above, initially, and that's when the answer was sand, and you made your way in, although you came in a different way. The second one happened when Pogo touched the wood in the bowl.
Okay, I was
So-
actually gonna say, can I touch the door and see what
Okay.
happens? How that works.
All right. So when you touch the door, you have to hear it kind of echoing down the tunnels coming from the other room where the lich is. By the way, that whole side area, you guys didn't necessarily have to go in there. That was you just made your way in there. That's where the lich was hiding. So he came out to harass you outside. But anyways, the echoing kind of raspy, redeaded version of the lich says, "One dies birthing the other, who grows, withers, and dies birthing the first."
Can you put that in the?
Yeah, I'm dropping it in the chat for you here. Every time I do it, I have to delete because it tries to image. Whoops, Sarah isn't saying that. I just had her selected. And I mean, this isn't a. The answers are those plates, and the plates fit in the circles in the door. It's just a matter of figuring out which are the correct ones and if there needs to be an order and so on.
Then we got intact. We got serpent, scarab, crescent, pyramid, sand dunes, clutch of eggs.
And then the broken ones are, varying chunks of, some of them are 3/4, some are only half. You have, the hyena is only maybe a third of the plate, but they're kind of broken chunks of them basically. And they obviously were not intended to be broken. Like they're not designed to be broken. They've just been broken with age and geological movement.
Philosophically, pyramid and sand dunes.
I was thinking either that or something to do with the mountains. But the mountains don't really wither.
Since you guys flew here, I will point out that the mountains that are on there are very clearly represented in the mountain chain to the south. That Norok was kind of staring at as you flew your way here. Doesn't necessarily matter at the moment, but it is interesting that it is the same mountain range.
Mountains die, birthing the pyramid and sand dunes. As the pyramids and sand dunes crumble, they turn back into mountains.
The mountains, do they look like they've eroded with wind at all?
No, they look pretty solid. They look pretty much the same. I mean, there are obviously geological differences that occur in mountain ranges over the span of a couple 100,000 years, but they're not so drastic that you would recognize a difference in these.
So what if it's like a clutch of eggs dies birthing the other, a serpent who grows, withers, and dies birthing the first? So maybe it's like...
Could be. They are serpent people.
Okay, hold on. One dies. A pyramid dies, birthing the sand dunes. No.
An oasis and sand dunes.
Yeah.
Sand dunes.
But do the sand dunes grow, wither, and then die birthing more oasis?
I don't know. I guess it depends on how good these guys were at poetry and trying to figure this shit out.
Well, if the sand dunes grow.
Terrible poets, the lizard people. If
the sand dunes grow, then they're technically dying, creating an oasis, and then the oasis dries up and goes back to being sand dunes.
Sure. So which one are we trying first? And the oasis is broken, so we'd have to find a way to try to fix it.
I mean, we can always try the other one first and see what happens. For all we know, could be nothing.
Are we okay to?
And then we can try. Yeah, then we can try the oasis. I mean, what do we have? Do we have our jug that we can get some honey and maybe get? That probably wouldn't work that well.
Like
What
glue
does
with
that
honey.
jug make? Does that jug
What were
make
you-
like a gallon of glue? Let me look it up.
Really, Sako, what were you saying? We ready to what?
Oh, I said,
we
are we
good to
ready
what?
to face the consequences in case we put in the wrong thing and we encounter something fun?
I mean,
we got to put
probably
something
just
in
gonna
eventually.
explode. We've
Yeah.
got mage hands. We've got walls. This
Yeah,
place has been here this long. It's the worst thing I can think of is that like if the entire chamber fills with gas and we all die immediately. Here's the
Wouldn't
thing.
that be
Oh,
fun?
jeez.
Yeah,
There's a
I will-
pleasant thought.
what are the chances?
I will tell you though that the previous chamber where Sarah and Pogo had noticed the kind of stained marks on the floor, those were probably some gaseous material that was spit up out of those. You don't see any of those holes in this chamber at least, but I know Pogo was looking and found plates, and Nazim. You know what? Actually, Nazim being distracted, probably not. Pogo and Norok, give me perception checks. Sarah and Arteme are kind of looking at the plates and the wall there, and Nazim's a little bit distracted, so I see the other two.
Yeah, I'm tucking into the corner so when we're ready to use Mage Hand to put these plates up, I'm not like directly in
They're a
front of the
normal
door.
disadvantage.
That's good, Sako.
So the only thing I can
miss
think
jokers.
of, we do have. I was looking in that bag of holding. Just Arteme wasn't paying attention, so I was going through her bag, and I found a
While she's
candle. So we could
Yeah.
maybe we could melt some wax to act as like a connected seal. It's not going to work great. It's going to barely hold together for any kind
Or
of extra
what is
pressure.
it you're trying to glue together though?
Oh, we don't have all the pieces of the plates, do we?
Well, some of them, yeah, exactly. Some of them are just like you don't even know where those
fuck.
chunks are. Yeah, the broken ones
Nice
basically
thing
are
about
missing
it,
pieces, is what I'm
We
saying.
could try cluck legs and lizard, and then
Nazim, well, but real quick then, I mean, you guys are welcome to try any, but while you're doing this and kind of discussing what to attempt in the door there, Nazim, the unbearable headache has you kind of occasionally just kind of trying to stretch your neck around a little bit, and just trying to do anything you can to abate the just unbearable boom in your head, and you look at the ceiling and you see a very thin fresco of it. It's very not much detail left to it. That is just with age kind of long since faded away, but there are multiple cycles depicted in the ceiling. It's a constant, it's a cycle of things. You see a cycle of life and death, of these the creatures here, the the Yuanti, the snake people, also lamias and a few other names for them, but they're basically the snake people that you see in the ceiling of their kind of births and death and rebirth, that cycle and so on. The one closest to the door, though, you see, like I said, multiple different kind of depictions of these circular cycles. And the first, furthest back, you see the life and death one of the Yuanti, and then you see mountains kind of being crumbled and being birthed by volcanoes and so on. The one closest to the door, though, is a very simple depiction of a moon and a sun. And that's the one that's right above where Arteme and Sarah are standing.
Ah, yes. Yes. Okay, the moon and the sun. You got your lunar cycles then. The crescent moon, full moon, back and forth cycle.
So the crescent and the circle. The circle is broken. So we gotta find a way to fix it.
Yeah, the circle is the one that you have like 3/4 or so of, but yeah, it is broken.
What if it's just something as simple as producing light?
I mean, if it's anything like the other tomb, I think we actually need the key itself.
We can try to. What if we just like took one of the other plates and we like just kind of turned it into a circle, like trying to chisel it out to make it look like a circle?
I mean, we could.
Is anyone good at ceramics? Maybe we could just make a new circle plate. Does anyone have a kiln?
Any stone rights here? Anybody?
Well, it's-
no stone right. Nope.
Shit. You know what? Okay, hang on. I've got a. Pogo said that out loud, right? I know
Yeah.
Justin's joking, but Pogo said this out loud. Okay. Everybody not Pogo, make an intelligence check. Just a plain flat intelligence check. We'll put it that way.
I mean, I don't have like stone chambering. So.
We don't have the plates from the last place we were at, right?
You know what? I think you guys did save some. They're slightly
Yeah.
different size. Yeah, I think
They're
you guys
slightly
did save
different
some
size,
of them.
but
Yeah.
I kept everything in the bag of holding. Like
Yeah.
any plate from any keys to unlock things, I kept them. It was a intelligence check.
Yeah, flat intelligence. Oh shit. Okay, it looked like a natural 20 when it rolled on my screen. Sarah, this is a little bit of a cop out, but honestly, because Justin kind of almost accidentally stumbled on it inadvertently here, and Pogo said it out loud. Something crosses your mind. I'm going to describe this basically as in, you know how in like procedural crime shows or medical shows or anything like that in dramas where somebody says something really stupid and it
And then
makes the genius person go, oh, we'll give them the flu, like fucking Goldblum and Independence Day. That's the kind of thing that occurs here. Like, Pogo didn't say something stupid. I just mean that the thing that he said, totally not directly, the right answer. But you do realize that these discs are all only emblazoned on one side, and if you flip it over, the other side is a perfectly smooth circle.
Right, so we just have to take a perfectly intact one and flip it over and stick it in. And then the crescent is already a full intact. Question is, which one goes on which side?
Well, probably the full moon. Wait, yeah, probably the full moon.
And then the crescent moon?
Crescent moon. No, crescent moon first, and then full moon. That would be my guess. By the way, I'm saying this from around the corner of the wall where I'm
still trying to hide. You're not perfectly confident in this solution.
I mean, I can mage hand one in if you need me to.
Right. They didn't have to be done at the exact same time for the other temple, right? They was just one at a time.
Correct. And the other one, you guys put them in different orders even, and they worked fine.
Okay, then
that was a different species, of course, different architects, but you don't have any reason to think that they would be different here.
All right, I will use Mage Hand Word, putting the circle first and then the crescent, or crescent circle. Then, all right, I'm gonna
crescent circle.
Crescent circle.
Okay, crescent circle.
All right.
I'll use Mage Hand.
You carefully take the disc depicting the crescent and slot it into the left, and you take the one depicting the sand dunes and flip it over so that it's just the bare circle and slot it into the right. And when you do, there is a groaning, very kind of rattling and dusky sound of stone scraping stone as the door begins to slowly slide down from the ceiling and kind of move into the floor, basically to a slot into the floor. It gets stuck about basically when there's still 2 feet or so of this disc disc-shaped door still sticking up. You can see into the room now. It's just stuck.
And
there's just not enough space for it to get down. But it did open.
How much space is there enough for any of us to get through?
Yeah. Any of you can. Norok will have to. Well, anybody that's tall will have to, step over 2 feet or so of this disc that is jutting up from the floor, but the door is open.
I'm just gonna go.
Okay. You can see down the hallway since you can, with your dark vision or able to see.
You want to toss me over this pit real quick?
Oh, I will. I mean, if you want to ride the broom, you guys can ride the broom.
Okay. Well, then in that case, Sarah, you step down.
Oh shit!
And put your feet onto the floor. No, I'm kidding. You said the broom. You said the broom frack. You do very cautiously, certainly, step onto the floor. You don't set off any triggers and any traps or anything that you could. You do. I will tell you that this definitely looks like it's trapped, but you don't.
Okay, so this doesn't look like the traps have already been triggered in here.
Correct. This room looks like it hasn't been opened before. Whoever made it in this far didn't get past this, is the impression that you get. This doesn't have the same, footsteps and bones and things like that. It is a little bit broken apart from, geological activity, but the statues on the wall are still there and kind of facing back in equal directions, as you can see down the hallway there. But where you're standing does appear to be safe.
Okay.
Is there any kind of treasures or anything, or is it like a puzzle room?
There is a gleaming actually, Artemis, you wouldn't be able to see it just yet with light coming around the corner. Sarah, you can see a gleaming sarcophagus at the far end of the room.
Okay,
It
well,
is-
I'll
it's-
put my light cantrip up. I can
Okay.
see a bit better.
Okay, let me add that for you.
This.
You can see a little bit further. You still aren't quite able to see far enough to be able to see the sarcophagus at the end, but you can see the shape of this hallway that it, where Sarah's kind of looking at. That it must be. Nazim, you'd be able to float over that, although it would be awkward because you're going to start to descend as you float forward. So you're going to have to get to the edge and then try to lift a leg up to make it up over. But you can make it over that pit.
Parkour.
So with everybody on the other side there now, you can see down this hallway, and there are statues that I think everybody can see. Yeah, Nora can see it too with the light up. So you can see these statues. There's a bunch of them down, kind of lining the sides of this giant hallway here. And then, as Sarah has told you, there's a big sarcophagus at the end.
Oh, sarcophagus, great. Gotta love those. Never bad.
Do the statues look like they like spit something out of them, or
Make a perception check.
Yeah, I'm gonna
That's
do the
terrible.
same thing. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
go
be
ahead.
looking-
Yeah,
I'm gonna be
anybody that's looking around. Yeah.
for
Yeah.
traps
Whoa,
that would come up
no.
from down from the ceiling, from the walls, or from the floors.
Okay.
Just to see if I see anything obvious.
Here we go again.
Not that kind of statue, but yeah, similar. Not that the.
So since I got a
Great
7,
oracle type.
clearly there's no traps.
Yeah, this is obviously safe.
Yeah, I see
I'm
Pogo's
going
got a
to
bolt.
slowly start walking in, and I'm just gonna start slowly walking into the room, keeping an eye out. But I'm pretty sure I don't see anything. And I've got my eyes intent on, just very, very focused on that casket. And if anything
Okay,
jumps
you
out of the
can't see
casket,
it. It's too far away for you to be able to see.
Far away. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've just got light in front of me.
Okay,
And
well,
slowly walking
let's
into
go ahead and stop
pause.
there for a second. As soon as the rest of you
I'm
watching
pretty
this,
sure none of us got high enough to where we would have seen any traps, so we're pretty confident this place is fine.
yeah, as far as your rolls, nobody rolled particularly well. That's for sure. Even with an advantage, Nora got a 9. Yeah, totally safe. That said, you would all be smart enough to recognize, of course, that even if you didn't see one, you would be aware that it's possible these were just better hidden than what your perception was able to reveal for you. And in fact, as the rest of you watch this, Pogo walking very neatly down the middle of the corridor here. Sarah, had just barely enough time to recognize this flash of heat and illumination coming from the mouth of the statue to the north of him, that immediately engulfs him, blasting him with the just a gout of flame spit out from it. It is 40-12. 31 fire damage.
I was wrong. I was wrong.
As Pogo is immediately immolated, you have enough time to kind of jump backwards, of course, to try to not continue to be burned by it. The flame, after a few seconds, does recede. Pogo, you're able to step back just enough to be out of it for 31 damage.
I just got spit on by a statue. It hurt real bad as I'm like pushing up, blotting out all the flames with my charred eyebrows.
Try to right your hair, the eyebrows that are now missing, that kind of stuff.
Looking at the statue, did it look like when he crossed its line of sight it went off, or like he had stepped on a mechanism in the center of the floor?
It did look like it happened the moment he... Oh, shit, that's hard. That's a real hard distinction to say. I will tell you that in this case, it happened when he got within that area. You just don't know necessarily whether it was a matter of stepping on the floor or if it, had some means of detecting that it was in front of him.
Okay, if I...
Dial on, and dial on.
Yeah, I agree with that all the time.
Alright, so I'm gonna
Because those
fly over here and try to drape the only cloak I have, so my cloak of billowing, just kind of like over, because the statue has eyes, right?
Yeah, stone. They're not gems like the other one, but yeah, they're stone eyes, yeah.
And just kind of like drape it over the eyes, and can I send Noctua through?
I mean, yeah, you can summon her as an action, so... Okay.
And see if it'll go off with her going through if I cover the eyes.
All right. You cover the eyes, and all of you have... Since you lost your lunch previously, you now have a roasted owl that you can, decide to have lunch with if you choose. But you try to send Noctua through, she is instantly immolated and poofs out of existence. Don't even need to roll for that. She has 10 hit points, so but it couldn't be less than that. I think it's 10, isn't it?
Yeah.
By the way, your cloak now has a big burn mark into it. It's not destroyed, but it does have a big singe where the fire kind of pushed it out of the way.
Okay. Anybody have any suggestions for how to? Does it seem like a magical effect?
You didn't sense anything magical about it, no.
Are there any
I'm just gonna.
symbols or anything on the bird statues that we can see?
Oh, they're not birds or snakes. The
Or
the
snakes,
map
sorry.
does show them as birds, so that's totally fair. They're just in narrative, they're snakes.
I'm just Eldritch blasting at the fucking head.
a little mad that you're toasty now.
Is
In
Does
what
that do
sense,
anything, or
Rock?
do they seem like they're resistant? Like they have some sort of magical thing around?
I mean, it damages as if stone. Yeah. Nazim, sorry, what was you saying? Actually, both Nazim and Norak to say something.
I was just saying that. Do we see any symbols or any symbols, pretty much, on those statues, or in front or above those statues?
No, there's really like I said, you haven't seen anything that would potentially be identifiable as an alphabet, I guess, if that makes sense, or cuneiform or anything of that sort in here. The closest depiction of what was obviously meant to communicate something were the etches on those plates, but you feel like that's already there's no place, basically there's no receptacle in this room that you see to be able to put those in for these statues. So nothing runic, nothing like that. Yeah, and I would say that between the two of you, you and Sarah both having kind of asked the same, somewhat indirectly, you don't see anything magical. It looks like a mechanical trap of some sort.
I don't know if I would have noticed, but when Pogo stepped on the floor in front of there, did it descend at all? Did it look like he was stepping on a pressure plate?
It, you know what? I would say that you probably would be watching for something like that, for what could potentially have been a trigger, and you didn't see anything that looked like, like the floor moved at all. Yeah. So Arteme, I think it asked same kind of general idea, but it's especially looking for traps with your danger sense, barbarian thing. You didn't see anything that stepping on the ground would have potentially caused, as far as you could tell.
Is there like rubble on the floor, like little bits of rock or something?
Yeah.
And I just chuck one down the hallway
Sure.
and see if it's just movement that sets it off.
Sure. You fling a rock down the hallway, and nothing happens. It clinks against the dock until you can't see it anymore.
Can I see the far back of the wall? In other words, the opposite
Yours?
wall.
What's your? Because you have 60 feet, I think.
Yeah,
Right?
can't one of you guys just make a door to get us the fuck over there?
Yeah, because I was
I mean,
gonna
I
say,
could
if
Misty
see
Step,
the other side. I can do
but-
an arcane gate.
Yeah, can't you do that, Nazim? You could just open like a door here, and then we just walk through on the other side.
Just a portal.
Nazim, you can see as far as what that light shows. That's as far as you're able to see, which is 60 feet out. The hallway continues after that. Sarah, you can see how far it goes after. You can see the whole thing down the
Yeah.
end. You can't make out colors too far, but you can see the whole all the way to the end.
I mean, we could just send down. Can someone
And-
send down the dancing lights just down there so we can see the whole
I
hallway?
could actually. I have a theory. I'm gonna send a firebolt down and see if it's heat that sets it off, like body heat for a snake.
Okay.
Like predator statues.
They have to have that 80s style where you see the vision of the creature, of the predator or the Terminator. You send a firebolt down to the end and nothing happens. It hits the far wall and burns out.
We can just set up a bunch of string of light, set up the dancing lights so we can all see the entire hallway, and then Nazim can just make his door. How far of a distance can you make a doorway?
Let's see here.
Also,
you
is
still
it-
have dancing lights up.
Does
Yeah.
it take a lot out
Did
of
I?
you? Like, is it exhausting on you, or is it pretty simple for you to do? On a scale of like 1 to 8.
That's gonna pretty
Actually,
much be my usage.
that's a little so. Yeah, it's funny actually because I see where Pogo was going with how to ask that question, with Justin trying to answer or ask it in narrative, but the way that Nazim cast it is actually different. He's a warlock.
Oh, okay. Got it.
It is at a spell level.
That looks like a dead end down there, right?
Yeah.
That hallway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So even if we open up a door down there, we gotta find a way back past these statues.
I'm gonna put a light source down there.
Yeah, I put up my dancing lights down.
Yeah, Sarah put dancing lights down the hallway, so I just reveal. I just put light down there so that everybody can see what the rest of the hallway looks like.
I mean, I could Misty Step in between some statues and get up here, but Sarah's probably not strong enough to move the top of that sarcophagus.
Well,
What is that supposed to be?
When you make one of those doors, how long does it stay?
Oh, it's supposed to be the alien. Okay. Isn't that instantaneous?
Does it,
What, Fox?
does it look like is the fire coming out of the eye, like the mouth?
Mouth, yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna throw some vine seed. Oh, no, that would actually just burn. Because I was gonna say I was gonna try and clog up the mouths with like vine seeds, like create vines that just like clog it, but they would probably just burn.
Yeah, I mean, you're able to do plant druidcraft, I think it
I
is.
was gonna use weed plants to like make them grow right away.
But you do feel like the organic matter would burn away pretty rapidly. You saw how hot that was when it burst out onto Pogo.
Did it come out? Like if someone was really fast running through there really quickly, like on that broom, would it still hit them? Like even if they were going all out full speed?
It was not instantaneous, so I mean there is a chance potentially of being able to go fast enough. It is a gout that bursts out the moment that you step into as Pogo saw when he was immediately engulfed there. It's not a magical effect. It doesn't happen instantaneously. It's literally like a gout of flame.
Like Nordok's pretty quick, but he's also fucking huge, so it's still probably gonna hit him.
Yeah, but if he's on the broom and he's only going half speed, so he'd be faster running.
Maybe you on the broom could go super fast down there.
If somebody else wants the broom, I could just Misty Step twice and get there.
Okay, here, I'm just gonna cast invisibility on myself and Sarah.
Okay.
Try it out, see if you can get down there.
Sure.
And then we'll just go through.
Okay.
Let's see. Good luck, ladies. I'm gonna step away. I don't know. These things I've got this stone, I hold up my seeing stone. This thing can see invisible stuff. These guys might be able to also.
Yep.
All right.
All right.
Let's go.
Okay.
One at a time. Maybe you guys do it one at a time so that we don't hurt both of you.
Well, I guess be very specific. Tell me how, like, you're both invisible now. Are you both going to be on the broom and try to use the broom and go as fast as you can? Are you going to go slow?
My plan.
Okay, so go as fast as you can, both of you on the broom.
Go as fast as I can on the broom.
Okay, by yourself or both Sarah and
with
and
Sarah?
Okay.
Unless you don't get us
to the sarcophagus.
Okay.
So
there is a question here that I don't have a good way to ask without revealing details here.
Because when Pogo stepped in front of one, it only came out of one mouth, one statue, right? Not all of them.
There's only one statue right there. So you see,
I just meant like all the statues down the hallway.
Correct. So. Yes. It only came out of the one that he stood in front of. Yes. All right. Do me a favor and click and hold on the map where you intend to stop. So it'll do the little ping thing, and then I can tell where you intend to stop at.
60 feet would get us here.
Okay.
Yeah, to there then.
Okay. All right, then the both of you on the broom, blitzing as fast as you can, but there's no dash from the broom, of course, but going as fast as you can. It's 60, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Everyone else that are standing back here see nothing initially because they're invisible. Yeah. But there is a
noise, otherwise we're not going to know where you all are.
Yeah, you're going to be able to see. Yes, exactly. You do see this cascade of first the first one that Pogo had set off, then the second two, then the third pair. And
oh my God, they're probably burned alive.
Well, you don't see, invisible shapes being illuminated and engulfed, and surrounded by flame. But they do definitely go off, and the tail end of the broom, for sure, gets a little bit of a burst because you have to slow down when you get to the end. Otherwise, you would run into the last set of statues. You see what I was asking, where you would stop. So you do have to slow down.
When I stop, could I pull the broom up so like the bristles are down.
So that you fall into the flames instead? Sure. You
Well,
can
no, I
absolutely
just
do that.
meant so we land on the, so we can like sit on the floor. We just got the broom fixed.
Yeah, and now you've wounded it in a trap, and now it's afraid of you again. But apart from that, not enough to actually damage the broom. Just it does catch kind of a little bit of the tail end of the little wispy dry
I'll pat it out.
stalks. But you are now in front of this sarcophagus at the end of the thing there. Obviously, the rest of the group, you guys don't see it, but you again did not see them become immolated. At the base of the sarcophagus there is a small little like section of like a cutout, basically. So a sarcophagus generally on a big stone slab, and then the sarcophagus sits on top of that, and that's what you're seeing. But at the foot of the sarcophagus, still on top of the stone slab at about eye level for Sarah, Arteme, it's kind of normal table height, let's say for you, is a small like box part that's kind of cut out of the bottom, like another gold chunk, basically out of the bottom of the sarcophagus with a lid,
Okay.
like a
I'll
gold
try
box,
opening
basically
it.
that's not inside the sarcophagus. It's just attached as part of the sarcophagus. Yeah.
Okay, I'll try opening it.
Okay. You grab the hinged lid and begin to lift it up. Give me a dexterity.
Seeing them do this, I am actually readying.
You're not seeing anything. They're
I can't see
invisible.
this?
We're invisible.
They're invisible.
Oh, that's right. I have no
Yeah.
idea.
So,
Never mind.
Arteme,
Is that
give
dex
me
save?
a dex save. Actually, yeah, it would be both of you technically, since you're on the broom or next to each other there.
Save, not check, sorry.
Yeah, save.
Oh no.
We're still going to use the roll though, Fox. It's still a 5. So whatever your modifier is, which is a +2. All right, so it's still 7. So 7 for Fox and.
Wait, you said it was
Oh,
saving
sorry,
throw, not ability check.
Well,
so
yeah,
I
but you
made
still
the
rolled a
saving
D.
throw instead.
Yeah, but you rolled a d20 and it was a 5. You just if that had succeeded, you would have re-rolled. It's fine. You'll still use the 5 with a modifier of +2, so that's still fine. Well, I mean, not fine in the results, but a 15 wouldn't have been any better anyways, Fox. So don't worry about it. Both of you standing there as Arteme lifts the lid off, having been invisible for the moment. Pogo, you do finally get to see something as something shoots out from this box that you were looking into, stabbing both of you. A small little needle. Both of you. Well, actually, it wouldn't be a second check, even though that's what it says. You know what? It's just going to be really high DC. There's a possibility for you guys to kind of shake off some of this potentially. It's still going to have a negative impact. Both of you con saves with disadvantage.
Ooh.
It's a little odd that the trap would have 2 back-to-back saves like that, but we'll at least give it an opportunity here.
Oh, they were both 4s.
Ooh.
All right. Well, this is potentially going to get real bad again because shit. You know what? You're
Hey,
close enough.
at least they're probably going to be visible again.
Well, they are. They both immediately become invisible as you see them seize and kind of begin to like freeze in place. And both of them begin to slowly, over the span of a few seconds. I mean, you don't have long to react, I guess. I'm going to give everybody an opportunity to do so, but we're coming up on time here. You see them beginning to kind of seize and freeze in place as they begin to visualize, revisibilize, I guess. Not invisible anymore. And well, really, it's illuminated. You guys can see there is a kind of a growing mineralized sheen beginning to cover over their feet and moving up from the floor. And beginning to spread around over them from this injection site and up from the floor. So both of them are beginning to look a little more statuesque than usual as they are petrifying in place.
Don't worry, guys. I can animate objects, and then we'll just carry it around.
No, the rest of the campaign, they'll just animate these stone statues. Like little action figures, as kids as action figures, banging them together. So, the two of you are beginning to be covered over with stone as you are paralyzed currently. And we will have to see where this goes next week.
Cool.
So,
I don't know how that works in game, so interesting.
So and also they're at the other end of this tunnel that you guys are, stuck potentially behind this forest fire. Yeah. So we will see what happens next week. Next week is the 8th. Anybody not able to do the 8th?
So